Guys, last week we ignited a firestorm in the comment section about movies that you don't like but are critically acclaimed. So every few weeks we go to Five Below, and it's like a little family like thing. We all get like a little treat or whatever. And I've been vibing with like the gourmet jelly beans lately, right? So they have like the ones that are like ice cream, the ones that are like cocktails, or the ones that are just like any flavor. And I'm curious, sort of the opposite question. Is there a flavor of jelly bean that you like that overall is kind of like most people don't like?
This feels a lot like that pudding question that I answered, and then you guys all made fun of me for.
No, it's not like that.
Puddingware.
Mine is the buttered popcorn. I think it's a pretty good flavor.
It is actually.
And people, I've hung out with people where because people do that. Normal people eat jelly beans with other people, and like that's the one that everyone's like, nah, but people do that, Dean. Come on, that they're like, no, I don't want that. What is there a flavor? Maybe the chat can chime in as well that you guys like that most people will set aside as like, nah, I don't want that flavor.
Who the fuck eats jelly beans?
I was gonna say I'm a grown man, so I actually don't eat jelly beans. But
Okay, Marco, that's the one thing you don't eat.
wow, you called me chubby before the stream. I was like, it's a tight shirt, all right.
Well, no, it wasn't that. It wasn't to call you chubby. Your silver ass was showing to the thing when I was about to press go. I was like, okay, I'm going, and Marco just got up and spun around.
The only
Shots
time
fired.
I eat jelly beans is when I do the nasty and good ones. You guys done those? Where there's
No, I haven't.
Like the Harry
not
Potter
brave
ones,
enough.
where like
Yeah.
earwax
We
and shit?
should do that. They
That's-
sell that at Five Below.
and my favorite one is Tutti Frutti. So
Well,
that's
that's
the
great
only
because
time
you
I
are a
eat.
little fruity, so that's,
was
actually works out
you
perfectly.
know.
It's not that there's
Where
anything
it-
wrong with that.
You're on good team.
You know, I like the spicy ones, honestly. Like, I know
Wow.
folks would not
Okay.
want a spicy jelly bean, but like that's my jam. I will say I tried a ranch water. This is a complete 180. I tried ranch water for the first time, and there was a flavor called spicy, and that's it, and it's fucking good.
So his
ranch water
just-
is bussin', bro.
His joke earlier was that he is a grown man and doesn't eat jelly beans, but yet he's
He follows
drinking
it up.
ranch water.
Okay, I'll be down in a ranch water or White Claw. I'll die on that hill.
Oh, Oxcon,
I'll
we're
die
going
on that.
after.
You gotta
him.
get those cantaritos. They're showing up into
Ooh.
more stores, dude, and those
Okay.
are bomb.
I
What
gotta,
was
you gotta
that?
find me some.
They're the alcoholic jarritos.
Oh,
Yeah.
that,
I'd be super
that
down.
sounds kind of scary, actually.
Oh, isn't that what Manny? Didn't Manny try that the other
Yeah,
day?
Manny. Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
I might need you to write that down for me. There's no way I'm going to say that correctly if I go looking for
God.
that at a store.
Try
I'm
it.
just
I
saying,
I
I'm
don't
going
know
to
if
totally
they'll have
offend
that
somebody.
in Canada.
Been on the phone. Hey, do you have Cantaritos?
It's one too many borders, Ben. That's
That's one too many.
usually they just cross that first one and then they're good. But
And like, I don't have any jelly bean examples, but you know, when I talk to you guys about my love for poutine, y'all kind of are like, I don't know, that sounds weird. But fries, gravy, and cheese curds, primo. You literally can't lose.
bro, that's
So,
how they ate when the Germans were overhead. I ain't eat no damn poutine.
You got to try that.
Oh, you said you love poutine. I thought you said something different.
Oh my
Misunderstood.
He be
Like
putting
poutine
that
my balls
poutine
in his
away.
mouth.
Nah, dude, he eats that too.
walked into it.
Christ.
Are you an angel?
What?
An angel. I heard the deep space pilots talk about them. They're the most beautiful creatures in the universe.
Hello there. We are tonight's entertainment.
We would be honored if you would join us.
He's got a billion toys.
You brought in the adult collection.
These are not dolls, Jim. These are commodities. Same as gold or oil.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
You are now listening to the Collecting Weekly podcast.
This is the true form of floor gang right here. Very nice. YouTube.com/collectingweekly. Thank you very much. That's very cool. Big.
Hey guys, my name is Zach.
I'm Dean.
I'm Ben.
I'm Marco.
And I'm Eddie.
Welcome to this week's episode of Collecting Weekly. It's a weekly podcast where my friends and I talk about the things that matter the most to us this week in collecting.
That's right. We want to thank you guys for listening, wherever you're at, TV land or podcast world or wherever you're catching us, whether it's on the replay or live in the YouTube studio audience. We love you. Thank you for tuning in.
Wow, I like the YouTube studio audience. That sounds pretty good, honestly. I like it has a nice ring to it.
I don't really know where I got that. It just came to me. Whoa,
Wow.
what the fuck?
Not the first time something came
There's
to
no
you.
basements in Texas.
We have a great show planned for you guys tonight. We're talking exclusivity. There's been a lot of Hot Toys releases lately that are limited or numbered, and I want to talk about them. We also have a ton of figure news to get to, but before we do all that, we have Toy Mafia in the chat. We have Yomo Niculio, Universal Key, Billy Badfish, Mark Pearson, Bob Dylan, Renz Tolentino. We also have Field of Burn 83. He says butter popcorn is fire. We also have Mark Pearson, Brian Fontaine, Six Scale Scavengers. Go check those guys out. They're great. Mario El Profesoro, check him out. He's great too. Safeful, good morning / evening. It's 2:30 a.m. right now. Hope everyone is well. Hope you're well, bud. We have Yomo Thor Gaming, Jose G, Niculio, Poutine D's nuts in your mouth. Let's see here. Eddie Money Mendez, 16 Fix, John Ortiz, Brick Artemis, and Sean Forrester. Dean, we have a very special segment that we kick off all of the best shows with.
Yeah, you guys ready?
Yes.
It's new this week.
Yeah. What did you get new this week? Internets. I missed last week because my whole internet system decided to take a shit. So we got one of those Google Mesh networks. Have you ever seen those?
I'm interested.
It was really expensive. It was.
I have that over here too. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like the router and then each connector. I don't know how it works, but it's better.
It basically sets up nodes throughout that like the Wi-Fi connects to, so it kind of expands
Bounces
the area
around.
that your signal is
Yeah. They're
in.
like these big bulbous weird looking things, but they work, so I can't complain. Because
That's what she said?
I missed last week. I missed all of last week because I didn't have internet. I was like, what the fuck? So
I hate to hear it.
That's why I wasn't on the show.
When I needed you the most.
I know, dude. I felt so bad. I was like, bro, this is garbage. And then my sister had moved her computer out. So it's like I couldn't even like hardwire into our router. It was fucking awful. But anyway. And then I got this beautiful comic book. It's a 9.8 Batman number 134. The only reason I got it, I don't really know about the issue, is it's an art germ cover of Punchline. And I got it signed via Beach Bum Comics. And it's fucking gorgeous. I put it on a payment plan. It was like, how much was it? It was like $64 a month or something.
Oh my
no, not even.
Damn.
No, it was
How much
only,
was this book?
I think the book was only like $125, which I was like, I'm never going to be in the same room as Art Germ anyway. And then you got to pay for the autograph and then, get
Encapsulation.
the book. Yeah, hope it gets a 9.8. So I was like, yeah, that's a good deal. Like $125 easy. So yeah, it was less than that. It was probably what, 3, 6, not maybe like $30 a month. It was only like four.
I'm glad you said. You know what, Marco? I'm gonna give you a point. That in my head, I was like, "Wow, that was great." There you go. Look at that,
Amazing.
first point of the month.
Dean, is this a foil cover?
No, it is not. It's not a foil.
Okay. Still dope though. That's a beautiful cover.
I like this better than his first Punchline cover. It's so beautiful. But yeah, I'm just really excited because he's my favorite artist. So to get him, signed. It's kind of weird. So it says here this was signed on 6/10/23, and I got this in the mail like middle of last week. So like from the time he signed it to it getting graded and then sent to me, it was really not that long at all. I thought that was interesting.
That's what happens when you shop with a reputable company, Dean.
Yeah, Beach Bum Comics, guys. They do sales all the time. I've only ever had one issue with them, but it was resolved. I got my book.
Yeah.
But they had a sale the other day. It was 50% off. I missed it. I was like, God damn it. But yeah, so Beach Bum Comics, guys, go check them out. And then I did get a Jon Snow 3-0 season 8. We unboxed it yesterday.
Yeah, I recommend signing up for their newsletter. They do email a lot, but it's how you stay up to date on like all the sales they do. They have sales quite a bit. I've only dealt with them once. It was kind of in that same batch that Dean had, where we had to email them a bunch of times to get our book sent, but it was less a sketchy thing and more just like they hadn't anticipated how many people were gonna buy in on that. It was a huge discount. I don't remember.
Oh, the Mando book, yeah.
Yeah, no, it was the Bad Batch. I think they were doing like a 5-year anniversary sale. Most of the books like $20 on their website, and it was like it just took them a while to ship, but really good company, unlike some of the ones we talked about on the channel.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Marco, you got a nice little haul here.
Yeah, so I like to stagger my figures. I do get a lot of shit, but I don't like to have a bunch at one time. So these Iron Man figures I bought off of Carlos in the community. Made me a really good deal on both of them. So, figures that I had been eyeing for a while, but I was like, they got to drop a bit lower. So I won't say the exact price because Equan's going to shame me and say you could have gone even lower, but I'm really happy with the deal that I got for these shipped. And then the Fennec is the only one I've opened so far. Took me a while to finally get to her, but really great figure, honestly. Like really beautiful. All the accessories are amazing. The sculpt lives up to the pictures I had seen. Like that is totally her. And I've got the Boba on throne, so I'm going to figure out a display with both of them. But yeah, pretty happy with the haul overall. And excited to open this Illusion Iron Man, which is one that I was hoping I'd snag eventually.
Nice job, man. That's a huge haul. When you shared that photo, I was like, oh my God, it's like Christmas.
Like he's having a midlife crisis, but
oh my God.
Yeah. Hopefully I'll space it out for the next month or so.
Nice.
Mojo says, anybody ever got a video game graded? I think I'm about to. I have not. It's very particular to do that. They grade everything. The foil, the condition of the game, all kinds of things. It's
what game is it?
Yeah, that's a good question. What game is it? I've always wanted to get a Pokemon Red like graded, but I imagine it's quite a substantial purchase.
My ultimate grail is Final Fantasy VII. Like the original PlayStation graded.
That's pretty sweet.
Expensive.
Really? How much does that run?
What does that run?
I think I saw them. I got like $4,000 or something like that.
Is that a high grade or is that like what they begin at?
I think that's a high grade.
Gotcha.
That's insane to think. Oh my gosh. I wonder if like something like Ocarina of Time, like how much that would be, Ben. I know that's.
Well, I was gonna say like I've still got my cartridge box in really really good shape in like a plastic container basically. It's not graded, but. Yeah. Great shape for sure. I wonder what it would go for now. So easily one of my favorite games of all time. That would be a great one for my collection for sure.
There you go. So on New This Week, we sometimes share when we get new pets, and I wanted to share I got some new pets. So a buddy of mine, it's funny, I've known him a long time ago when I was younger, and he was just a kid, and his parents would bring him to all these different like aquarium hobbyist meetups. And if you know or you don't know, before collecting, I was really into like the saltwater aquarium hobby for years. I had been president of an organization, sat on the board of directors for a while. Yeah, it's pretty nerdy, admittedly. But he was selling this tank. It was a great deal. And I was like, you know what? I feel like we could use like a little bit of something new in the house. It's kind of been a bit heavy in the house lately. So picked up his aquarium. It was already established. We basically just drained it and moved it and then poured the water back in. But it came with 2 clownfish and a bunch of anemones, and it's been a nice little fun addition to the house. So.
I've never known what those were called.
Anemones.
Anemones. There you go. And so, Erwin says the salt father. Yeah, these are, it's interesting. Like the aquarium hobby, they do a lot of breeding of clownfish, and they're able to like, basically like force different traits to happen. So these are like clownfish, but they're bred to be like pretty much all white and black with just a little bit of orange instead of, just a few little stripes. It's really complicated how they do all that stuff, but yeah, it was a nice little way to spend the weekend setting it up, and I forgot how stressful that hobby was, but I'm back in the game, baby. So maybe one day on After Dark we'll talk about all my different tanks throughout the years, but it's a
How
hobby
many
that
more
I
fish?
was.
Oh, sorry, Zach.
No,
go,
you're
go
good.
for it. I was going to ask
No,
how many
it's-
more fish can this tank fit?
Maybe one really small fish. We added a crab today to eat some of the algae that's on this rock. We added some snail, like special type of snails and special type of little hermit crabs that they, again, like clean the sand and clean the rocks.
Can we eat
But
the crabs eventually?
I knew you were going to go there.
But because the clowns are so big and they're also very territorial of their anemones, you can't really they'll be like when you stick your hand in the tank to do anything, they bite your hand. Like they're like, get the fuck out of here,
Bastard.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Because I don't know anything about saltwater, and I don't know how different it is than
Sure.
just regular fish tanks. But they say it's usually somewhere like per gallon of water, it's like an inch worth of fish or something like that.
That I think is more for freshwater.
Okay.
That metric. It's hard because with freshwater, not to completely derail
Shit
the
on
show,
it.
but for freshwater, the type of filtration that you can have can establish you can basically cram, if it's a 55-gallon tank, 55 inches of fish. It's quite a few fish.
That's a lot of fish, yeah.
With saltwater, because everything has to be so perfect,
right?
You can't do that, and so
that's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
but I was also thinking maybe the not that this is real coral, but you have little creatures on there already.
Yeah, and that's the goal, right? Eventually, to add more corals and stuff.
Yeah, and I was thinking maybe they're a natural filtration, so you're not bound exactly by.
Yeah, so the rock is sort of the filter, and that's why I need to clean it off so it can be exposed to all the stuff in the tank. It's a really we'll talk about it after. It's very complex, but yeah, basically this is all I can have. But I mean, I know people that have 300-gallon tanks and they have maybe 10 fish. It's not. You really can't do a ton of fish.
When I was a kid, we had about 6 goldfish, and my mom brought home a Japanese fighting fish one day because she thought it looked really cool. We all went to bed that night, woke up the next day, and every goldfish was destroyed. I mean, pieces of tail everywhere, half it. Killed them all. Killed them all.
Look at this. Sam
Devastated.
Fast as lightning.
My brother was into saltwater for a long time. You guys should do a show and talk about other hobbies you had before this. Yeah, maybe we'll do that tomorrow. But I
never got fish after that.
I would say I've been in this hobby since maybe 2009 for saltwater, and it was up until Dean. When was the storm? 2019 or 2018?
Oh, that was a dark time.
Yeah, well, literally, we had no lights for 5 days.
It was 19.
All my fish died in that.
Yeah, I think it was 19.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, and after that, I just didn't really have the heart for it. But
that's right. Yeah, you had a really beautiful tank.
Yeah, to answer this question, it wasn't a board of director for salt. It was a marine conservation organization, not
pussy for the
not just for fish tank. You know what? Can someone ban him? Can someone ban him, please?
Emotional damage.
Amazing.
Man, there you go.
I was like, dude, you gotta
That's
read the
pretty
rest
good.
of that comment. That was good.
That was good. Let's check in on the speculation here. Nothing's changed, but Eddie officially is on the board with the Moff Gideon. What did we say points-wise that we were doing for that? Was it 3 points, 5 points? Anyone?
I think 50,000.
50,000. Okay, we'll give Eddie 5 points. We'll
I
start
think we
him
said
off right.
0.5 because I haven't gotten any
5
yet.
points.
So
Yeah, I think Eddie joined late, so he only gets half points.
there we go. Yep.
That's,
You hate to see
I hate to see it. Just a reminder, if you're interested, Thursday and Friday of this week, 9 p.m. or rather 9 a.m. Pacific time is supposedly when the Anakin and Joker artisan figures are going to go up. I want to reiterate this. We said it last week, and I'm going to say it again. When they say that they're sending out emails at 9 a.m., you have to realize Sideshow is a company with thousands of people on their email roster, okay? as part of my nerdy board of directors organization, when we send out emails to 300 people, there are times where there's minutes or hours between everyone getting those emails. So do not wait for that email. If you are interested on these figures, be ready. Jesus, Dean, be ready to purchase them at these times, and do not wait for an email. You will 100% miss out if you're waiting for an email, because all those emails, they hit send at one time, but it takes the mail server, minutes or hours to get them out to everyone, depending on who they're using. So be smart. Don't bitch and moan if you don't get it. We've heard people say that you can do some tricks of calling in or whatever to try to secure a figure. If you really want these, don't give up, but it's certainly going to be, I think, a shit show to try to secure one of these. But
so do we know if it's what do you call it?
Oh yeah.
God damn.
Limited?
No, if it's
a lottery or just first come first serve.
No, we don't. We don't. I would say.
Fuck.
I would say based on how it was with what was the last one, Marco?
The Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. Yeah, I would say it's probably every man for themselves. They did introduce recently that sort of a queue system where you can't even access the page until your turn in the queue. So I would imagine they kind of have that blocking the site to not prevent it from crashing, rather.
Yeah.
And then once you're in, you kind of are able to manipulate it. So that's why I say be ready early. Yeah, they're saying it's a queue system or a free-for-all. So, yeah, be ready early. It's going to be kind of a pain in the butt. I'm kind of glad I'm not particularly interested in either of these, but yeah, don't.
The Joker could be around for a minute. I doubt it, but the Anakin is going to be nuts.
Yeah, the Anakin's going to be nuts.
Joker's going to be around at all.
I haven't decided if I needed enough to have a third Joker in my collection yet. Or fourth Joker.
Wow.
So the sculpted does go up the same day. We don't think it's limited. They haven't said, right? So
yeah.
It's hard to know if it's a tactic or not. By the way, I just wanted to quickly show this, Zach. This is what I was talking about, the original game case in its plastic, excellent condition. It's awesome.
God damn, that is really crispy. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Do you know if it's a gold cartridge?
It was not the gold cartridge. Not this one.
I hate to see it.
Yeah, but pretty cool.
One thing that's kind of ironic is the Joker RCP wasn't working for a lot of people this week, and I was like, look at that, introduce a little bit of anarchy.
It worked today.
Oh, it
I
did
was
work
going to
today.
bring
Okay.
that up, but I just did it right now, and it finally
go.
let me RSVP. So.
There you go. Well, good luck to everyone. May the best collector win, or luckiest, I don't know, whatever. So Hot Toys updated us on the 2099 suit. We had some looks at different conventions. These are the official promo shots. I personally do feel like this is an upgrade in the sense that the line is now consistent, which I think is important. I certainly think that this has made articulation significantly worse. There's some poses that were in the first photos that are no longer shown off in these type of photos. But I do think it is important for the line that everything should be all one way or all the other way. I think it's kind of odd to mix and match different materials or different sort of construction techniques. I think the UV looks really good. I feel like it maybe looks even a little bit better than it did on the initial body. But overall, I think this is an improvement. At the moment, I don't.
Did they show that on the initial body? I don't remember them showing that.
They did, yeah.
Yeah, they did.
We were just so worried about,
Yeah. What do you think about this, Dean? Is this an improvement? Is this a sort of, have they gone backwards? And also, let me ask you this, Dean. Do you think they should have offered a second option, perhaps, to keep the jointed figure for those that wanted it, and then also offer this as a whole new purchase?
I think this, even with all its flaws in terms of you're not going to be able to articulate it in certain ways, is infinitely better. I'll take this with all its flaws over a non-suited Hot Toy any day. That's kind of the point of Hot Toys, right? That being said, I don't think they should have offered a non-suited version, because that's not what people are buying these for. Yeah, I know that's probably going to upset some people, but it's like, just get a a Figure Arts or a Marvel Legends if that's what you're looking for. That's not what these figures are ever supposed to be. So I think that this is the only way to have this figure.
Interesting. So I think whenever there's two SKUs, one always sits, right? So if they'd given us both options, one of these is destined to hit the bargain bin and actually lose the money likely for production and also cost of storage. So I don't know if they could have done that even logistically all that well. I like the look of this suit way more now for the figure purposes exclusively. But when I made my video on my show, I got some interesting comments that made me second guess my own thinking with regards to the actual suit itself. The suit's supposed to be a hologram. It's a holographic image over his body. So you can't, like, realism-wise, he didn't technically have a fabric suit. So to be able to see fabric bunching and stuff like that is then technically less realistic for the character. But I think for the figure, it looks way cooler and way more dominating. I like the way the musculature under the body. It's a holographic suit. There's no fabric material to his suit at all. Because it's like it's a future, right? So technically the jointed version is almost more accurate.
So he's running around naked?
Well, under a suit. Everybody's naked under their suit.
If it's holographic, it's not even there.
Well,
this guy's free balling?
The way she goes.
He's hanging brain, bro.
I think it is cooler, though. Now, one thing they haven't really shown us here is on the other version, you saw a plastic cape, and you could see that it slotted into his shoulders. They haven't shown us how that's going to work now, especially with the fully body-covered suit. They also didn't show the head sculpt with the updated photos. I don't think that means it's gone. It better not be gone because it was a wicked head sculpt, and a lot of people are buying it for that.
There's no way.
It's dumb that they didn't include it. I get it that they didn't make any updates to it, though, so that's probably the reason for why.
They changed the neck pretty significantly, too, so they might be having to change the scale of the sculpt itself.
Good call. But otherwise, yeah, I think it's a win for the majority of people. I was surprised, though, how many people did say they were disappointed and wished they could have still got the jointed version. So not for everybody, obviously. But I think uniformity in the suits matters for my collection.
Yeah, I would just assume those that wanted the jointed version are a pretty vocal minority because I just can't think that there's that many folks that collect Hot Toys that expect this from Hot Toys are going to want that jointed version. I'm totally fine sacrificing any type of articulation for something that looks a lot better. I'm still a bit worried about the picture on the right. Like, he looks significantly less well proportioned on the right hand side than this cool pose on the left, but I think overall I'm pretty happy. This is one that I went and pre-ordered once they said that they were going to do an update. I was like, okay, I loved this film, I loved this character. He's a dick, but he looks so cool that it's definitely a representation I wanted on the shelf. So overall very happy, and like Ben said, excited to see those other kind of accessories or other alternate versions of the display with the final package.
Sorry.
Speaking of final package, my clitoris says, dudes swinging nuts are hidden behind a hologram. I don't know about that. I don't think it's a hologram, Ben. I think it's like a nano fabric. Like, to me, it's no different than like.
I'm gonna double check it. I'll double check.
Double check it.
I'll do my homework.
Do your homework.
People told me it was a hologram. I was like, if that's the case.
Although
Bob Dylan did say bunching fabric is still more realistic than a big ass joint, in his legs right near his nuts. So I mean, fair.
And it could just look like a hologram because of the animation style, but yeah, I kind of doubt that as well. But not saying your folks are wrong, but I have questions. How about you, Eddie?
I don't have a lot of personal feelings about this because I wouldn't have got it either way. I do remember when it was originally solicited, I had said that it isn't Hot Toys to me, even though I didn't think it was bad. I thought it was cool looking, just not for a Hot Toy. I thought it was cheaper looking, like a Mondo, or I know people like to say Marvel Legend, but I did think that, and I think that if people are happy that it has a suit now, that's cool too. Me, however, personally though, I don't think the suit looks good. I don't see what everybody else sees. I think it looks like bunchy and hides a lot of the musculature, and to be fair, on the left it does look decent. But like Marco said, on the right, I think it looks ugly. I think the only part that looks good is the abs and the chest. And I'm just not a fan. See, here it looks decent too. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like maybe if they didn't just rush to get a suit on there, they could have maybe used thinner material that maybe highlighted some of the musculature a little better, or shown that off a little better, or I don't know. I feel like there's something else they could have done to make it look a little bit better. But if people are happy, that's cool. I'm not getting it, so.
You know what would have been cool, Eddie, if he came with his like computer terminal that he's standing with, like when he's first introduced in the film, and that's what creates like the light reflectiveness off of the outfit that you get now. Like that would have been cool, kind of like Black Panther had the surround with him. That would have been neat.
Ben,
and so,
I'm going to piss you off a little. Oh, go ahead, and then I'll tell you.
I was going to say the suit is apparently made of unstable molecule fabric.
I just Googled that, yeah.
Via synthesized unstable molecule fabric bonded with Kevlar, which greatly improved his defense compared to the original, to the point of nothing short of a howitzer can penetrate it. I'm not sure what a howitzer is. Maybe that's some kind of fancy gun, Dino.
It's a big ass gun. That's what they like shoot airplanes out of the sky with.
Oh my god. Okay, well that can't take them down either. So, unstable molecule fabric. Guess not hologram.
So Ben, I'm going to piss you off a little bit. All this heartburn over this version. Yeah. And there's another film coming out, and they're going to take all the feedback, that holographic table, whatever you want, and they're going to incorporate it into that other version, and we'll forget all about this one that I'm going to be getting. So.
Fair.
Release a 7-pack.
Has all of the figures that come with a significant UV display option, have they all come with a light option too? Like to have UV light? Because I know
I don't believe so.
Panther did and Spider-Man did the whatever spider suit that was the Mark Mark IV?
Yeah. So I think Wanda has holographic eyes, and that she doesn't come with the light.
Well, the eyes ones don't, because Thor has
about
eyes.
The full suit. Okay.
Yeah, I'm saying anything that has like a significant suit that lights up, they've all come with lights except this.
Interesting.
I don't want a black light for my apartment.
You'd be able to see Ben's apartment.
Your background is a black light.
Midas quarter scale was shown and solicited this week. It's a Hot Toys exclusive at the moment. No word of this is coming to the United States. Very interesting here. This one's limited to 300 pieces, and we'll touch on it later in the show, but this is also a serialized or sort of an edition numbered figure, so every display case has a 3-digit number that corresponds to that figure's place or edition or what have you. That's so cool. We'll touch on whether that's a good or a bad thing here in a little bit, but I like this figure. I really do. But something about the box just feels very cheap. It just doesn't feel premium to me. I feel like if they had done this as a Hall of Armor type display with the same front panel, I think I would have liked it more. Because this figure is so dynamic that I feel like if you want the full effect of, having the edition number in front of it, you're basically stuck to like just this pose. And with a figure that can pose just so crazy like this, I feel like not a lot of people are going to display it like that. And so it creates a kind of weird, how do you display it on the shelf, right? But the Midas is a great figure, or armor rather. I enjoy it quite a bit, but I don't know. This is interesting for me. I'm not quite sure how much I like all that stuff, but overall, I think the colors, the gold plating, I think they're really well done. The nice mix of that sort of copper bronze color with the bright gold, I think it looks great. The proportions look good. I think their quarter scale, they really shine on them. So, not for me personally, but definitely a cool looking figure.
Yeah, I like this a lot. I think the box could have at least done with that etching on the back panel, just to make it pop from the front. Like if you're gonna have it in the case, it would have looked way cooler with some etching in the back, or even like a diagonal across the front, kind of down by his legs, like past his knee, would be cool. Because you don't really see any etching from the front. It's kind of like, well, it's there, but okay. But yeah, with such a cool, dynamic figure, because this is what is this? This is a 6 scale or a quarter scale?
Quarter scale.
This one is quarter scale.
God damn. I guess I don't really know enough about quarter scale. Because I remember the Mark III. Zach, you had the Mark III in 6 scale. That was a
correct.
badass figure.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you kind of would want to show it off, especially all gold like this. I mean,
yeah,
just having it standing up like this.
What
lame.
Particularly about the quarter scale, I guess, do you not get?
Oh, like just the like getting it into certain poses. Because like with the 6 scale one, there was like swap out parts to like
so
make it look better.
Yeah. This one doesn't have, as far as I can tell, like that separate torso. Like, I think all of these, even the modern Hot Toys Iron Man, they can achieve that pose without, the need of a pre-pose segment of figure. These figures are fucking ridiculous. Like, the panels, the internal lighting and stuff, like I really think that they are close to the pinnacle of like technology on figures. I'm not talking about like quality of rooting or quality of production. I just think like the electronics that they have built in, the panels, the articulation, like the things that you can physically do with them. It almost feels like a perfect grade Gundam model kit. Like it's just like everything can, everything that you think can move is supposed to move, can move. It's really
they just
impressive.
need the wireless charging, right? Like
exactly. I think that's it. One thing before whoever goes, one thing that is kind of interesting to me, perhaps I'm wrong here, but we saw it with the Wonder Woman. I didn't quite get to speak on that when we did that show. And we're seeing it here, but I don't think that Hot Toys has normally done like this sort of clear acrylic stuff. They did it for the Wonder Woman to sort of protect the portrait. They're doing it here now for like a display option box or a figure. Is this new, or have they been doing this for other quarter scales or other figures? I can't recall that they have.
This is the first one.
Okay, yeah, because I know they obviously have the Hall of Armors, but as far as like just a box, not like a, I think some John in the past has said some are styrofoam and some are plastic, but and some of those you did have the little window that you could put a sticker on that sort of had like an etching on it. This is totally different from that. This is just like purely for displaying a figure, a part of the figure or the figure itself. So kind of interesting that they're leaning into the acrylic so much.
I guess I could see what you're saying about the cheapness of the case. I think it's a cool idea, and maybe in hand the case won't feel cheap. It'll look better than maybe it does in pictures, but I think your idea of a Hall of Armor is really cool. That definitely would have added a nice touch, and it would have been cool, and it would have gave them the option to maybe start releasing those and have a Hall of Armor in quarter scale. That would be really cool. I really love the Mark III, and I really want it because of that. So it sucks that it's Shanghai only, because now in order to get it, I gotta figure out someone to contact out there, and it'll be more expensive because quarter scales are already like statue price. They're like $600. So I imagine like trying to get this in the States is gonna be like $700-800. So
you think it's worth it for this particular figure though?
It is pretty limited, and if you're a big Iron Man, big Mark III fan, I don't know. That's a tough call. It's pricey, and you could pretty much get the Queen Studios Mark III for that price.
Yeah, no joke.
But it is cool, and it'll be very unique, and I think that alone is good reason to go that way. On the flip side of that, the only thing that I wish was a little bit cooler was the stand. I wish the stand stood out in some way that wasn't just a regular Hot Toy stand, like
it was a Dio, basically.
Yeah. Even the original Mark III quarter scale came with, I think, that with a cooler stand, like that had Ironmonger on it. So something like the base of like how it looks in his shop or something like that would have looked cooler. Or I don't know.
What the fuck, Brenton? How dare you, Brenton?
But yeah, I think it's really cool, and I want it.
I'll feature a comment, Brenton. If people who are all about numbered figures don't buy this, they're full of nonsense, and you should probably ignore them. How dare you, Brenton, speak to me like this?
That's tough. That's tough though. In that this is a quarter scale. If people are calling for Hot Toys specific, numbered releases, this is kind of in a whole different category.
And it's harder to get.
Yeah, that's a tough bar.
Even though it's numbered, it's not going to be. I don't think it's going to be available for us at Sideshow or anything. Yeah. So it's hard.
One thing Eddie made me realize this whole time, I guess I didn't do my homework. When I saw this, I just immediately was like, oh, it's the Midas. It's the Mark III Gold. It's not even the Midas, the Mark 21. That blew my... When Eddie said Mark III, I was like, wait a second. I didn't even realize that. It went right by me. Carlitos, sorry, just quickly. Do we know if the number is marked or etched on the base or figure in addition to the display case? I haven't yet seen the answer to that. That is a great question, though, because I know particularly for statues, the generally accepted thing is you have the... on the back of the box or somewhere on the box, you'll have the number, and it's only on the base. But for figures, I wonder if they would actually put that on the foot or just on the base. But I would hope that both are numbered, right? Because then it's like, well, it's just the case is numbered. It's
if you lose the case, like, how do you prove your number?
Exactly. We also have quickly here Star Fury. First time here. I recently found this channel. Already subscribed. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, welcome to the show.
Appreciate you being here. Ben, my apologies.
No, all good. I was going to shout out Star Fury first, and then obviously I'm a 6 scale guy. It's just the way she goes. I like the look of 6 scale. I like the actual scale of it. I looked this up. This is 19 inches tall. Which is huge. I don't know how folks would have the display room for a quarter scale collection. I think one of the benefits of quarter scale is they haven't released that many of them yet. So if you're the type of collector that needs to have them all, it's a whole lot easier to try and track down all the quarter scales than it, I think, ever would be at this point in 6 scale. So that's a win. I could see this particular figure. I'm glad they chose the Mark III because it's such a cool, iconic suit. I could see this as like a trophy piece in somebody's office, even somebody who doesn't necessarily collect, but loves the movie enough or thinks it's just kind of like a cool, like, trophy piece, as I said, to have in your office or in your home or wherever, your entertainment room, right? Like, this could be pretty damn cool for a lot of people. I didn't think that the box surround looked cheap really at all. I was kind of happy that they provided it at the very least, because it being so large in the scale especially, I don't think it's a figure I would feel tempted to pose. I barely pose my 6 scale Mark 7, and it has the ability to go into pod mode and all this craziness. So this is probably the way I'd want to display it anyways. The case for me just makes it seem almost a little bit more premium, like a trophy piece as opposed to a figure. It gives it some level of separation in my mind's eye. So for that, I think it's pretty cool, and then does add to the value. Great question though about the piece itself being numbered, because if it's not, I would hope that it's on the base of the foot or something to prove what number he is, if you don't have the case.
Mario made a good point. The gold Mark III is in the movie when he's doing the on the computer, the layout of the suit. It's all gold at first, and then he says
it starts adding red
in there.
No, you know what, Eddie? Someone check that. If you're right, though, I'm gonna give it to you. I'm gonna give you a
Mario
point,
said it, but
he gets a point for taking something that someone else said and repeating it. Okay, I see.
I remember the part.
So Absolute Irwin says that
I'm taking a point for you not saying that Mario said that.
I did say Mario said that.
Oh,
did he?
I'm taking a point
sorry.
from you for not listening. Absolute Irwin says 3, 4, and 6 Iron Mans are available in quarter scale. Give me a point, bitch. All right, let's move.
Okay. We're getting too comfortable with the bitch. Let's see here.
Sorry, that was disrespectful. I take it back.
The Mark IV Gantry, this is quarter scale as well. I can't even imagine how fucking massive this is, but we had seen this at the different conventions from a few weeks ago. I think it looks fantastic. I really don't think that there's much to say about this other than I think it's a home run by Hot Toys. But if you guys have anything you want to touch on real quick, please go ahead. My apologies, Mario. I didn't see it. I was too busy being yelled at by Brenton in the comments. So
yeah, this looks badass. I don't really have a connection to the Mark IV, so I'm not really tempted to get this, but objectively, this is fucking sweet.
I don't know. I'm with Sam Gist here in the chat. He says, I don't know how cool it is, or I don't care how cool it is. If I never see another Hot Toys Iron Man for the rest of my life, I would die a happy man. I am starting to feel kind of that way too. Just the fatigue of seeing them over and over again. I've always loved Iron Man. I love my Mark 7. I like the look of the suit. I think it's a cool character. I wish we wouldn't have to see as many. I just understand that there's such a revenue driver that we're never not going to see them. They're going to continue to give us reissues and all, like, forever, I think. So I think this is cool. I think the gantry is amazing. Zach said it well. I can't even imagine how big this would actually be. if this figure itself is 19 inches tall. It's crazy.
It'd be massive. Yeah, I'm not on that Iron Man fatigue though. As long as they give us
you're
like
good.
different scales of, different, like this is kind of something new in a different scale, right? It's not just like the neon tech is kind of the pinnacle of like, all right, we're out of ideas. But if you're doing these cool limited, gold releases or this, I think this is all fine. This is all interesting. But the moment they start going too weird with it, then it becomes a snooze fest. But yeah, I would get this if I had the space and if this was the scale I collected, because this is definitely gorgeous, but definitely not for me. How about you, Eddie?
I think they missed an opportunity to throw in a quarter scale Randy's donut sign with this, to have him posed in the donut like that
There you go,
with
got
the
the donut.
sunglasses. They didn't even give him the full head sculpt so you could put the sunglasses on. I know I'm just being a dick, but it's a really cool figure, and I think the gantry makes it super sick. And I think even statue collectors could be tempted on this one, because it does have like a super presence. This could be a centerpiece in any quarter scale, 1/6 scale collection, Iron Man collection in general. So I think that's really cool. So yeah, like Ben was saying, this is a good opportunity to start a quarter scale collection and maybe get all the suits. I wonder if they would go back and do the 1 in quarter scale. And I know they were teasing the 2. I don't know if that one ever went up for pre-order, but yeah, I think it's really cool. I'm tempted again on this, but just that quarter scale Hot Toy price is so expensive that it kind of is a tough nut to swallow. But yeah, it's definitely super
Well
cool,
said.
so.
Well said.
Thank you, sir.
There you go. Has everyone had a chance to touch on this? Yeah, we'll move on.
Wow.
So Black Panther, the original suit, this one is it's an imminent release, I guess, according to Sideshow. A lot of people have gotten their final charge notices. And interesting enough, I feel like this happens quite a bit lately. When those notices go out, everyone who hadn't pre-ordered it rushes to pre-order it, and it basically waitlists immediately. So that has happened yet again. And if you haven't yet secured your figure, I think you got to jump on the wait list. But let's quickly move on, because we don't have any final product photos of that. Moff Gideon, this one's $280, releasing July to December 2024, obviously from the most recent season of the Mando. I think the figure looks pretty good. I kind of question whether this is the iconic look for the character. I felt like perhaps in season 1 he was a bit more iconic leading into season 2 in the original outfit. But I do think the portrait is really good. I think Hot Toys has continued to improve their paint for characters with dark complexions. Always been a complaint of mine of Victoria's in the past, but I think that they really have done something really well here. The armor looks good. I feel like this figure's not going to be quite posable, though in the season 3, I don't recall him doing anything super crazy, but I just kind of would temper your expectations as far as what you'll actually be able to achieve with this figure. Outside of, kind of just standing there cool like this. Would be interesting to see if we do or don't get the guards. We saw them at SDCC or Sideshow at home, whatever you want to call it, but nothing official just yet. And yeah, I think it looks pretty good. Ben had provided some different comparison photos. Here's the comparison of the season 1 look compared to this figure, and then or rather the
To the first
season
version.
1 first version figure compared to the first season, and then the most recent look here in season 3 versus this figure. So I think Hot Toys has really captured Giancarlo's likeness quite well, but I'm curious what you guys have to think about the figure and the price point.
Yeah, this is coming home. I will own this. Although a tinfoil hat, I don't think he's dead. I think we'll see him again. In that last fight with Bo-Katan, you never see his face. Once he puts the helmet on and flies away, you never see him, like, his face again.
If only he had some system to replicate himself,
Right?
Isn't he
Also,
burn alive?
Beskar is fireproof.
Oh.
So well, I think he's still alive, dude.
He was talking about cloning himself, though, right? Come on.
Yeah, there's tanks filled with clones.
Yeah, and I rewatched the episode, and I was like, don't think this motherfucker's actually. I don't think that was him fighting. But anyway, regardless if we see him again or not, this outfit is badass. So much cooler than the season 1. Helmet or not, like this is fucking sweet. 280. That's not bad at all. So I will own this.
I feel like the real Moff Gideon would definitely be smart enough to not just stand there at the end of that episode and be like, no, as the flame comes and captures him and kills him. He's definitely a clone in my opinion. I don't even think that's tinfoil hat at all, Mr. Dean. All of his clones had none of the mustache. He has no mustache in this particular section of the episode, if not the whole season. Clearly, they don't style his little goatee while he's in the fish tank growing. So I think he's a clone for sure. Now, figure-wise, I had seen a lot of people talk about how this didn't look like Moff Gideon in their mind. So when I did those comparison photos, Zach, if you don't mind going forward to that second season picture first with the first version, both of these, I think this looks exactly like the season 3 version of the character. And back a slide, I think it looks exactly like the season 2 version of the character. I'm shocked how much he changed. Just his like facial structure as a person seems like a change. He actually looks like healthier and almost younger in the newest season, which maybe he is a clone in real life. Maybe that's how they were able to pull this shit
maybe they
off.
de-aged him digitally.
Bro,
It's right. He looks real good there. Like, what the hell? Anyway,
he blew my mind.
Ben, the guy takes great care of himself. Think about this. On Better
Good
Call
on
Saul, he was playing a version of himself that was younger.
True.
And he actually looks great. Like he fits the character.
Yeah, so this man knows how to de-age himself, which is fantastic. Or it's a Hollywood or like Disney magic thing. But I honestly think it sets precedent that if you had the initial version and you liked this season look, I think you could definitely have both. Because I think both are vastly different enough from each other that it almost justifies it. And maybe that first version is the real Moff Gideon, and we'll find out this is the clone, the Moff DeLorean version. So you can kind of make it happen in your own collection. I don't think it would necessarily make sense to buy the newest figure and put the head sculpt on the older version, because I don't think that would then be very well represented of what the character looked like from that season.
And I don't think they're going to be compatible, Ben, because it looks like this is a two-piece.
Yes.
The neck. So
that's right.
But yeah, no, it's a good point. I love this figure. Definitely coming home. Like I was mentioning, I've been watching Better Call Saul, and he is just so good as Gus Fring in the Breaking Bad, series overall. That this looks a lot more like Gus Fring to me than the first version, and so that alone is almost enough to move the needle to get him. But I love the suit and everything else, and obviously I didn't like this character. I didn't like his villain in this season as much, but I really like the villain overall. So definitely one that I'm getting. How about you, Eddie?
Does anybody else think he looks a bit chunky? After looking at like several pictures of the figure, I was like, damn, he's kind of wide in the hips. And
bro.
He's been working out, bro.
Thigh area.
Doing squats.
Wow. You're talking about the
Look
suit,
at that
man.
on the left. He looks fat as fuck right there.
It might be the angle, honestly, because I
Don't
don't know.
make a
if
figure
that's-
of me. God damn.
God damn.
Wow.
Well, remember, this is an exosuit. It's not armor.
That's true.
What does that mean?
Well,
I have no idea.
it'd be like Tony Stark next to an Iron Man suit. The suit is not just armor; it's like a machine. So
I thought he's just wearing a suit. Like Mando isn't wearing an exosuit, right? He's wearing a
right. He's
like
just wearing armor. This is an exosuit.
Is it?
Yeah. Remember, he says in the episode, the Dark Troopers. The only thing that makes this better is that I'm inside of it instead of Dark Trooper, like a droid.
I don't think you're correct, but
I mean, you're wrong. I'll pull it up right now if you want.
bad man.
You are bad man.
How dare you?
This is an Iron Man suit of Beskar. It's not.
I mean, you can see this not a contiguous suit. Like it breaks at
Look,
the
man,
knee.
Star Wars. I don't know how it fucking works.
Motherfucker's wearing a pleather suit, bro. I mean, what are you talking about?
Brendan says it's a hologram suit.
Oh God, Jesus Christ, Brendan. Oh, hang on. Let's see. Someone message me.
Oh wow.
Here we go. Go ahead, Eddie.
Is he cool enough to have two different figures, or would you pick the best version of this guy? Because for me, the character fell a bit flat in season 3. He was definitely a cooler villain in season 1, and I feel like he was a bit of a letdown in season 3 for all the build-up. But is this a figure that justifies two?
You're totally
figures,
right,
or?
Eddie. It doesn't. Not based on the
No
character
way.
alone. Like I said, I've got love for the actor outside of this property, but if it's just for the character, he wasn't good enough in this season to just add this figure.
Equan says he broke a Darksaber with his bare hand. I don't think he can do that without the suit. That thing is like 1,000 years old, bro. Are you kidding me?
It's practically dust to begin with.
Zach,
Yeah,
he says
that
it
thing
in
is
the
old as hell.
episode. I just watched it.
Find me proof, and I'll give you a point.
Okay.
Give me some proof. Abe Dunk with the super chat. Love you guys. Glad y'all back in full force. I know you
Thanks,
guys
buddy.
had mentioned that in the private chat that it was nice that we're all here again. Quickly here, Mario. I guess we'll give Mario a point. Let's see what Mario sent me here.
An appearance from him tonight.
The render is complete.
Look at that. Mark III V01.
Citations, don't you think?
Great call.
Wow. I'm. You know what, Mario? I give you this. I'm mind blown. I would expect
And
nothing
mine-
less from the ultimate Disney fan. Go ahead.
Minus point from Eddie for plagiarism.
Yeah, actually, that's a no on this channel.
I said.
So.
He said
did-
it was
he did
in
say-
the film,
he did
and
say.
I said the scene. So
Wow. What can I say? Are we all good on Gideon?
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right. Let's keep it going here. The Droids 3-pack. I'll let you guys take. I got to sneeze. I'll let you guys take this one on.
Yeah, so is anyone else upset by this pack and what it represents? Because we're not getting the N1, it seems like. They haven't given us a Cal Kestis, and we've got a BD droid over here. To me, this pack is disrespectful. It's incomplete without those two things. But what do you guys think?
No one would have got that N1. Like one guy with
You're
a basement.
you're
and a
totally
ton of-
right.
I don't think y'all like. I don't think that. I'm sure y'all realize it, but that the average collector that's calling for the N1 realizes how big it is. In fact, let me see if I can find a photo. This guy that I talked to recently, Nathan, printed it 1/1/6 scale. It is fucking massive.
It's like gals that go on a date with Ben. They just don't know until it's up close.
Yeah,
I
they
thought
look
you
at
were
it and they say
saying-
it is
Jesus.
fucking massive.
I thought you
Never
were
gonna
saying
share
they're
any
massive.
personal details of my life with you people again.
Thought you were
I'm
saying-
glad you've learned your lesson.
I've learned it.
I didn't know you were into big girls, man.
Jesus.
Oh my god. I'm into anybody who loves me. Okay, I have a big heart. I've got a lot of love to give.
You got a lot of. Well, never mind. Anyways, anyone else want to?
To answer your question, Marco, this does not necessarily upset me in any way. I think a droid pack when it comes to Star Wars is cool. I think you can fit it into any Star Wars collection if you were able to get your hands on it. It waitlisted so quick, I didn't even have a chance to necessarily consider it, which is insane. Is it the 3-pack of droids that I would want the most? No, for sure. I'd rather have a 3-pack of the pit droid himself. I think that would look really, really cool, just fitting into the collection, because they always run around in 3s, not in singles. And I'm not going to buy 3 of these boxes just to be able to part it out, which means collectors are going to spend a ton of time parting the set out to each other and trying to build their own collections. But some people think that's part of the fun of it, so that's also okay. I think that this droid specifically, now that he's got more of a character arc, I think is cooler in the collection, but I'd still always prefer an R2. If I was going to create the space in the collection, that's where I'd reserve the dollars for. I've got that C-3PO in order. I don't have the gold version. I don't have an R2 yet, so I'm waiting for the definitive one in my mind, or one that just is easily enough available. Now that I know it's coming with the C-3PO. What were you gonna say, Eddie?
This so this is a tin hat theory. I don't think is that tin foil, tin hat, whatever the fuck.
Tin hat means like thick in Britain.
Okay.
That's what he calls his
You
condoms.
dumb.
Maxim says, sorry, Mario should be on stream, and Mario said, let's not get crazy now. Mario hates us, bro.
Eddie, what's your tin hat theory?
I don't think they'll waste the molds for BD1 or the pit droid. The R5 I don't necessarily see coming again, but I could, now that they have the mold for BD1, I could see them doing Cal Kestis, which I think they would have done eventually anyway. I don't know why
They
they're
fucking
holding
better,
off on
Eddie.
that.
Come on, 2
I
games
think
now, and they've released
will.
one figure from the line.
I'm
It's
pretty sure
odd.
they will.
They
And
better.
I even see the pit droids coming back in if they ever did a kid Anakin from Phantom Menace. I could see them throwing in some pit droids, or if they ever released a pod racer, because I feel like that's not as crazy in 6 scale. I could see them throwing in a pit droid, but I feel like we'll see those two again somewhere in some pack. So
Now that they have them, I think you're right, Eddie. I was being a bit tongue-in-cheek, as I've said before.
What if they made a Watto, eh?
that would be amazing.
That would be sweet.
I feel like
Watto
we'd
with
all
some
have to
pit
get
droids,
that
huh?
just because it's Watto.
He's a bit racist, but he's an interesting
He's
character.
a slave
Why do we
owner,
love
so
him?
I'd pass.
Like
We'll
your,
quickly
your
here.
grandfather.
Well, maybe not mine, but wow. Let's look at how big a 1/6 scale N1 is. I don't think y'all realize, like, this guy's probably 6 foot. I mean, this thing is fucking massive. It's massive. So you got to for the people that are saying it's coming from one company or another, like, you're gonna be quite expensive.
Did he 3D print that? What was
yeah,
that
that's
set?
that's 3D printed. Yeah.
Nice.
Also, let's see here from Dean. Let's see here, Moff Gideon, season
I was
3.
isolating the potential to wield the Force and incorporating.
Apparently, the gear. Sounds
does sound
very
like
indicative.
You can hear when he walks, but also the first link I sent, he says it's the next Dark Trooper armor. It's the new generation.
Also doesn't look like he can move very fast. Maybe that's why he stood in front of the flame and got destroyed instead. He's like, screw it.
Hang on. There's something that has to be done.
A man can only admit when he was wrong and ask forgiveness.
All right, let's get Dina's point here. Allegedly, this may or may not be a suit, but I give it to you. I could see kind of how one might think that could be a suit.
I like how you are agreeing with me and still saying I'm wrong.
I know. I'm just kidding. Sam says, "Why tease it in the first place?" Hot Toys always does this, Sam. I don't know, and I don't mean this as derogatory, but I mean Hot Toys has a history of showing very cool things that they never plan to produce. They've shown
It's great marketing.
the Jedi-
We're still
they've
talking
shown
about it.
Yeah, the Jedi Starfighter. They've shown the Falcon cockpit. They've showed the 1/6 scale TIE fighter. There is, they've shown a lot of cool things that they don't plan to produce. Clinton says there's a 1/6 scale figure on the bottom of that pic. Yeah, it's quite large. And even printing the 1/18 scale N1, that thing is massive. It's almost 25 inches long. That's 1/18 scale, so 3 times the size to get to 1/6. I mean, it's quite large. Going back to this though, I think Marco, you are 100% correct. Without a Cal Kestis, BD1 feels like a bit of a slap in the face. The pit droid absolutely needs to be its own thing as a triple pack, especially given that she had owned, I think, at least 3 of them in the show. And R4, R5D4, a great droid, but I feel like you're kind of paying for stuff that you may not want or need with this set. And I think it would have been nice to have the option to get him individually.
Whoa.
You might still, right? You might get a clean version for this latest season of Mando.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, I was gonna say R5 is now kind of, I don't want to say required, but I mean if you're building a Mando shelf, he's kind of important. So that's super duper important, but I feel like I need an R5 now.
Yeah. Let's move on here now.
And Mario was kind of saying that the BD, right? It's a different BD than what Cal Kestis has.
It's BD 72.
There you go.
But he's still cute. I still want him. Little chicken leg looking motherfucker.
Yeah. Definitely. So moving forward, I just want to say, first and foremost, you're welcome. I basically willed this line into existence. I mentioned when we did that Mondo show.
No, he's not wrong.
I was like, Mondo, you're sleeping on this, bro. You're losing money. And to me, it just seems so obvious, right? They have all these great animated figures that they're making for the X-Men line, which I accidentally ran forward, but the fact that they're giving us a Spider-Man symbiote and a Spider-Man classic suit in 1/6 scale, bro, I don't think I could be happier. I'm genuinely so excited for this. Possibly even more excited than the Hot Toys. This is going to be amazing, and I think the difference here between the when Hot Toys had given us a jointed figure is that was so far removed from what we can expect from Hot Toys. With Mondo, this is exactly what we can expect, right? We know what they're all about. Hopefully don't throw us a curveball and give us a suited figure. I think that would be kind of awkward, but right now at the moment, I am so excited. This is like a grail for me to be able to own both of these. Very fond memories watching the 90s cartoon. My mother and I used to watch it all the time. A fucking incredible show. And it's an experience that I'm having with my child. And very excited for this. Definitely going to be, at minimum, getting the symbiote, but certainly definitely considering having both on the shelf. Anyone else want to take a crack at this?
Zach, you gotta clap back at Brenton and say, anybody that bitches for more posable 1/6 scale figures and doesn't buy this shouldn't be trusted.
There you go. Got him.
I'm just kidding, man. They look cool, dude. I kind of was excited when I saw them, and I kind of want them both too.
Sam says Zach wants to give himself points so bad. Bro, if I was counting points for myself, I'd probably have like 100 points already.
Wow. Way overestimating. But no, I feel like the Spider-Man line fits the Mondo style a lot more than the X-Men. Like, I loved both of those action figures as a kid, but these are going to be so much more posable. I think I might have to have both of these, but I am afraid of the price because that Mondo price keeps creeping up. So I might have to choose one. But yeah, one of them's coming home at the very least.
Mm-hmm. Sam says, are these on the site? I believe this was part of a presentation they were giving. These aren't like, these haven't, images, at least as far as I know, haven't been publicly released. These are kind of someone snapping a screenshot in a meeting or whatnot. So I don't believe they are yet. They're coming soon. So I imagine in the next, 4 or 5 months, we'll probably have a pre-order and a more photos. But at the moment, these are just kind of from PowerCon, apparently.
I will definitely buy these, both of them, if they come out. I think they're awesome. I've just picked up the Batman and Joker from the animated series from Mondo. I had originally told myself I wasn't going to do it, but I'm going to piece together a little animated display collection, and I think that's exciting. I've loved the X-Men ones, but I've missed out on too many of them to get started now and go back. I loved the Spider-Man show as a kid. It was an absolute staple. I agree with you, Zach. I think it does well to be in this type of animated style for a Mondo figure. And I'm excited to be able to see what kind of poses this can do, right? Like, Zach, even with some of the smaller scale figures you've had before, you've been able to rock some wicked poses. I can literally just picture you, like, sitting in your chair, like, just playing with this guy like crazy. Very cool look. Very, very cool.
You pay for that or what?
I would probably pay for that.
Go on a website and see that.
Jesus.
Only
Zach's not on there. You hate to see it. Although the only thing is that I committed to the Hot Toys symbiote suit because it's amazing. Also, I don't necessarily feel like I need two versions in the collection.
Yeah, you do.
But I've already committed to the first, and this is going to be freaking awesome. Let's be honest. It just needs to be in, I think, a separate display area. But yeah, I'm trying to talk myself out of it at this point. But I'll definitely review them on my show as well, Maxim, if you're wondering.
Okay. Han, how fucking dare you? What up, boys? Mostly Ben. How fucking dare you?
Ben.
Yeah, I hate to see it.
She's lovely. Yeah,
lovely gown. Anyone else want to take a swing at this? Real quick, Sam is saying cloth or plastic. It's really hard to tell at the moment. These photos aren't particularly good. I don't really even think these are photos of anything other than a render. So on the symbiote, it looks like there's no joints, but then on the classic red suit, you obviously have separate hands. So I really hope that it's a jointed figure. I think that would work best for, kind of what Ben was saying, right? Rocking those crazy articulations. Don't have to worry about it being in a pose for too long. But I think if they went with a suit, I think it'd be a little tough. But
dude, if they do Venom from the animated show, that will be the best 1/6 scale Venom.
It's happening for sure.
You're not wrong at all.
That would be cool.
Yeah, there's no way they can't do it.
And I would say they could probably use a really similar body to that Sabretooth that they just did. Yeah. That'd be a perfect scale.
You guys are on one. That's amazing.
My God. That was like $300 though, so those prices are getting up there.
No, he wasn't that expensive. For the non-limited, one, I think he was a bit cheaper. I'm gonna look it up right now.
Okay.
Yeah, that's.
I was getting up there.
Double check there. Now they also did at PowerCon show the Rogue X-Men 1/6 scale figure, very curvaceous body. I love to see it. They also showed Cyclops and as well. So obviously expanding deeper into the X-Men line. They also have the what is it? The Batman animated series and then the He-Man line. So I mean, I think Mondo's making some big moves. I think getting Spider-Man license. I mean, there's so much potential for really cool villains that they've done in the Batman line. I think you could certainly dig deep into the Rogues Gallery for Spider-Man as well. So really excited to see what happens there. And Marco saying the limited was $245. Very cool.
I just have cheese brain. I apologize.
I will say that this Cyclops would be perfect with the jacket. You can kind of hide some of those joints like Ben does around his house. I think this one's going to be great as well.
Now, is that a jacket or is it swap out arms and a rubber piece you put over?
Now that's what Erwin's saying here is that the Prince Adam has some soft goods, so a cloth suit might be possible. I think that may be a cloth type jacket. So, real interesting stuff going on for Mondo. I'm a big fan, to be honest.
The Rogue doesn't have a swap out jacket. I don't know if she always has that jacket on. I don't know the X-Men that well, but
she too thick. You're never getting that thing back on, you know.
Bro, you're dying if you're lying.
I'm real, bro.
She comes with a Sentinel base. I don't know that any of them have ever, or like a piece. I don't know that it's the base, but
yeah.
I forget, Marco. Have you got your Sosa Toys Rogue yet?
I do. She's right here.
I can't remember you giving your thoughts on that one, but
man, she's great. The face is pretty good, honestly. Yeah, I'm happy with her altogether.
Nice.
She's pretty thick too. I know people did body swaps, but she's on a flying. She's on a
dragging
flying
a wagon.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
People did body swap. I was like, how much thicker you want her? My God.
She's got a fucking dump truck, dude.
I'm saying.
Drop in a load.
That's her special power right there. My goodness. That thing is mutated. Let's Doomslayer. This is the Crimson Edition. Should be available fall 2023. I don't believe it's gone up for pre-order just yet.
The other one's still up for pre-order.
Yeah, it seemed like it would sell out quickly, but apparently it hasn't.
It's so expensive. $300 bucks, dude.
It is, yeah.
And you got to pay up front. That's why I didn't buy it.
So cool.
I was like,
the proto looks so good at Comic-Con.
Yeah.
Dude, you did really PayPal and 4 for your fucking CGC. You can't do it for a 1/6 scale figure or what?
I don't. Dark Horse doesn't offer that.
Yeah, it does.
The website has to offer it.
This is Mondo, not Dark Horse.
No, it's a Dark Horse exclusive.
You purchase it exclusively on Dark Horse's website.
You could
Minus
probably,
the point for Eddie for his ignorance.
I'll check.
Fuck.
I'll check. I just don't know if I like the Doomslayer $300 worth. You know, like I have the Figma and the McFarlane.
And you hated
I like
that.
those. I didn't like the Figma very much. I love the McFarlane.
Do you have my McFarlane?
No, I bought one from Steven's Collectibles.
One of your favorite figures.
Yeah, I love that thing. But $300 though, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. Bruce Lee. This is a 1/6 scale poly resin statue. Obviously mixed media as well by Star Ace. It's 1/6 scale, and it's tough. It's I mean, even just looking at this photo, like you can see the seam where the neck meets the head meets the neck. So I don't know. That's kind of weird. I don't know if it's even worth purchasing, given how other products have gone from proto to final. This is obviously a different kind of thing. It's a polyresin statue, but it's the same scale. They're still having to paint and produce a 1/6 scale portrait, so to speak, to fit, to complete this. And it's expensive. You're looking at $339 for the regular, $369 for the deluxe. This is 2024 Q1. The deluxe base has this sort of lit motif, which looks okay. And this is to celebrate 50 years of Bruce Lee. I just don't know, to be honest. I don't really know how to feel about it. and it's going to be our hot seat here in a minute. But what do we think? Is it worth taking a shot? Like, I mean, obviously I like Bruce Lee. I'm not the biggest Bruce Lee fan, to spend $370 on something, but let's lean into this hot seat right now. For a company like Star Ace that has shown us time and again that they cannot deliver from proto to final, right? They have amazing work by their prototype in terms of the rendered sculpts, right? We've seen some of their sculptors have shown their work in progress. By the time they get to the prototype or final production stage, the quality, I'm talking like 30% drop minimum. For you guys, let's say if they had secured your favorite license, right? What would it take for you to say, hey, I'm going to invest the money? What does the company have to do to gain back collectors' trust after having missteps in the past? I'm not going to put a timer up, but I'll let you guys kind of chat about that for a little bit, and I'll just kind of point you guys here and there as we go.
So I would say, like, in a bubble, maybe a company can put together a few good figures, and then you would have trust in them, right? So let's say Star Ace did 2 or 3 figures in any line that they have that were solid. Then you could be like, okay, they're on the right track. They've hired some new talent, but we're not, collecting in a bubble. There's so many options these days. We know InArt is going to likely do, I almost said Jackie Chan. Oh my God, Bruce Lee. So, we know that.
I gotta take a point. I gotta take a point for that.
It was a joke. It was a Ben joke. Come on. So anyways, so we know that they're going to tackle Bruce Lee, right? They're going after these icons. So
I would never say that.
Oh, okay. Anyways, so we know that, that it's coming from another company. So we're not collecting in a bubble. So for me, I just, I can't trust them at this time.
I give Zach a lot of shit over the years for his Lord of the Rings Asmus figures and how much I dislike Asmus. And Star Ace is much worse at delivering their product, so I have no faith. This already doesn't look good, so I'm sure it will look like Jackie Chan by the time it's delivered, so no good.
Ooh, I don't know if there's anything that they could do immediately that would build the trust back. I think trust is something that once it's broken, the teacup is cracked, at least for a period of time, even if you glue that back together with a good couple of releases. Am I willing to give them a chance still, though? Yeah. For sure, because I'm a 1/6 scale collector and I'm rooting for companies to continue to give us a really good quality product. And it seems like for whatever reason, Star Ace keeps landing some really iconic franchises. Like some really good characters are at their disposal, including the boys, including characters like Bruce Lee, and including some others that we may talk about here in a bit. Like, if they're going to keep getting these licenses secured, then I'm rooting for them to succeed. But the trust needs to be built back slowly. They need to give us some good quality stuff at decent pricing, stuff that will get collectors to get these figures back in their collections again, and actually commit the money to them. I was looking at photos of Bruce Lee in comparison. I don't think this looks enough like the actor, to be fully honest. The hairstyle seems off. The eyes and the eyebrows seem really off. And the structure of the face looks off. I don't think he looks as ethnic, honestly, as Bruce Lee himself. I think that I can say that, right? Is that allowed? Like, he doesn't. They look like they've whitewashed the figure. Like
Lane.
I don't mean it in an offensive way by any stretch. I feel like he doesn't.
The
look
show's been canceled after you and me back to back.
So,
Whoa!
Anyways,
wow.
He's bringing Mario in so he can remove me from the screen.
Yeah, that's a
oh my god. I don't mean it in an offensive way, by the way.
That's a hot
at
take.
all. I just feel like they didn't make him look like his actual ethnicity very well.
What is he supposed to look like?
I don't know what. I don't know what. I'm not
What is
sure.
it?
No,
What is
I'm
it?
not sure.
What does that look like to you, Ben?
The figure, he looks more like a white dude than like an Asian person.
All Ben had to say was like, I don't think it looks anything like him, and instead, he went with, this guy is not.
I was trying to be more
Chinese
specific
enough.
in a conscious way.
Like this. Not like this.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean
The
to
clip
offend
game,
everybody.
the clip game has been really strong today. I gotta say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if Star Ace secured the Final Fantasy VII license, I wouldn't order anything until like 3 figures in, and if they hadn't delivered by that, I wouldn't trust them. As far as I could throw them. This doesn't look. I'm gonna agree with Ben. It doesn't look enough like Bruce Lee, and Bruce Lee is so iconic that, I mean, it's just not something you can, especially a prototype. It's not something you could fail at, and it's like if it already doesn't look like Bruce Lee, there's no way I could trust them to deliver an actual.
Yeah.
Also, $370 for a 6-scale statue. That's tough. That's a tough nut to swallow.
I don't see it. I don't.
What
see
is your search term up there? I need to know why there's so many words.
What the hell is Brooke?
It says Bruce Lee yellow suit.
No, it says Brooke Ely, by the way.
It knew what I was talking about.
Jesus, Ben.
Look who it looked up. What the fuck is this?
Brooke Ely. Ben, why would you share that?
I was trying to let you guys see Bruce Lee's photo.
Ben,
Not my
why
bad typing.
could-
I'm trying to type here in the dark. You hate to see it.
Jesus, Ben, if Bruce Lee came back to life and you can ask him one question, what would it be?
English, motherfucker! Do you speak it? Yes!
Oh, this is the second
feel
worst
terrible.
thing ever to happen to Bruce
He
Lee.
did speak English.
I believe he is half white.
I meant no offense to anybody who's watching or listening in YouTube land.
Wow, when are we
official
getting the
statement.
sensitivity training with
Gonna
Ben?
need some
Marco,
official
Come on.
statements.
Marco, we gotta get Ben into sensitivity training.
We do.
ASAP.
We really do. Me too, apparently.
At least it was
Apparently.
only Asians. Could have been a lot worse.
Jesus Christ!
All right, there's 3.
Mario, welcome, Mr.
Hey.
What do you think about this, Mario?
Well, first of all,
scale. Oh, please go ahead.
No, let me just state, I'm here to collect, bro. Where's my point at?
Here we go. Right here. Here's your point. Right here. Where's my damn point button?
Well earned, Mario.
Hey, all right.
well
Look at
earned,
that. Look at
baby.
that.
All right,
Look
he's
at
out.
that. My guy. Wow. It's official. What the hell, dude? I leave the show for a little while, and what has become of this damn show? You got Ben freaking talking a bunch of racist shit, and
I did not.
I thought I heard Marco say something, but I just can't pinpoint what he said, and Eddie still being Eddie, but
They traded one crazy Canadian for another. What can
Wow! How dare you?
wow, too soon, bro. Too soon, man.
How dare you? How fucking dare you? Get him out.
Classic.
Oh my God.
Get him out.
Oh, he's actually gone. Look at that. Why is this a thing?
I don't know.
Who Star Ace? And why is Star Ace
Ace.
why is Star Ace doing statues on top of it, man? I mean, Dean, how much did you say the price was? 3 something?
$339. $339 for the regular, which is just a regular base. $369 for this one that has the sort of LED style base.
It's I think it's decently priced, man, for what it is, dude. I think didn't Blitzway just do something not that long ago on quarter scale? And I think that turned out much better, and it was like hella
They
cheaper
did.
when I remember.
Yeah.
You know, I don't trust this. I don't trust this for shit, man. There's a thing, and plus, who's asking for Bruce Lee right now? Especially from Star Ace. You know, I mean, do you guys really think that there's a demand for this type of like IP right now?
I was
If
looking
it
for
was
a
well
50
done.
year anniversary?
Yeah, I think there is a demand at the moment. I know Enter the Dragon just released on 4K for the 50th anniversary. Obviously, this is the Blitzway that you're talking about here, which I think I would tend to agree it's much better done.
Way
This
better.
one is
Much better
509. Ben, do you think they captured the ethnicity here?
Yes.
Fantastic.
It looks way more like Brucky Lee.
Oh, wow.
I need a Bucky shirt, but it's Brucky Lee.
Yes.
it's Bruce Lee on the front. That would be amazing.
How is everything about this so much better though? The pose is better, the likeness is better,
It's
just
way
like
better
from
likeness.
top to bottom.
It's the lighting, bro.
It's the lighting,
It's the
100%.
lighting,
And for
yeah.
them to be so close in price is just bonkers. Like Star Ace,
Yeah.
they got to be canceled, just like Ben.
And it's wow.
Wow.
All right.
That's bold.
You took it
To be
there.
fair,
is
though,
fair.
the head sculpt on the Blitzway is PVC. It will not.
Yeah, it
be
is a mix of PVC and polystone and vinyl. Now they also tease Star Ace. Guess what their new license is? And it's like, bro, you guys even suck at Photoshop. Like, how is this so bad? I don't understand who's running this company. It's just, you know, they're getting Ghostbusters figures. I would imagine they're going to be vinyl, like their X Plus line, which could have the potential to be quite interesting, to be honest. But it's just like no one asked for this, right? Like I don't know why. They have this license, and hopefully they don't make figures, because I just don't think they're going to turn out well. It's spooky enough just thinking about it. Let's move on here. Just one more thing to talk about on the news section. Present Toys is coming out with a 1/6 scale Cooper from Interstellar. Obviously, I'm almost certain this is the movie poster photo. There's another company doing one, Charles Zenroom, but that's quite expensive.
Custom.
Yeah, it's a limited run custom. I don't think the portrait looks particularly good, but you know, it says it's nice to have your pick of the litter as far as choices goes. But you guys can take a crack at this. If not, we'll move on to our discussion of the week.
Is anyone worried about Present Toys just going after every freaking property and just doing so many figures? Like, I'm just really concerned with them being able to deliver quality and in a reasonable time frame, because they're just announcing so much. What do you guys think?
I don't think so. I mean, Mars Toys has been able to pull off some pretty impressive work with regards to figure releases, at least.
Except their second batches.
Yeah, well, fair.
That too.
Apparently the replacements were bad,
Yeah,
too. Some of them are already snapping at the buttons.
Oh, I hate to
I
see
would
it.
say the difference between Mars Toys and what Present Toys is doing. Present Toys, I believe they have figures that are like more than a year old, right? That they still haven't delivered on.
Well,
And
Interstellar, they never even went to Mars.
They're making everything,
Wow.
right? Like
Nice
there's
team.
no like consistency. Like I want to say they made like a Vincent Van Gogh figure. They're making Godfather figures. They're making Django figures, which admittedly were quite incredible.
I mean, fuck
they're
it.
making,
Like,
they're just making everything. But
someone
the
out there
problem,
wants it.
You're not wrong, but the problem is that they're not. They're and Joel has done a wonderful video on this a few years ago, maybe it was a year ago, but their pre-order stack is way too big compared to what's released, and it keeps getting bigger. I think we've touched on it in the past, but it is concerning. I think you're 100% right, Marco.
That's fair. I still am excited to see the possibilities that come from it, though. I don't know. The Indiana Jones turned out well. I like that they listened to feedback when it came to the blade, and actually gave us what looked like a superior head sculpt there as well. If production can keep up, even if it's a couple figures a year, one or two, I think that would still be okay. I don't think we're going to get much more from a company like InArt, and everybody's loving InArt right now. So, I mean, I think do quality work, and I'm willing to do quality work, and I'm willing to wait for it. If you're going to pump it out and it's going to still be shit and we have to wait for it, then I won't be happy about it, and you'll hear from me again.
We're looking at you, Stars.
Yes.
Yeah, Present Toys has been pretty consistent in their quality. I would say around like 75-80%, like, you know, like a B student, you know. So I don't see the issue with them picking up multiple licenses, or not licenses, but picking up multiple figures to tackle, because, you know, they could learn from each one, right? Like, maybe not necessarily everything they learned from making a spacesuit will go into making another X-Men figure, but maybe it does. I don't know. But I'm super excited for this. I love this movie. If they could get Matthew McConaughey's likeness down, this is going to be a banger.
I want a 3-pack. I want a young Murph, a middle-aged Murph, and an old Murph.
Bro, all I
You
want
want all the Murphs,
is
don't you?
Tars, dude.
I put it with my 7-pack.
Tars is the goat of this.
Tars would be essential. It wouldn't be too complicated to make either.
Nah, I would
You could
settle
3D
for,
print one, dude.
Yeah, I would settle for a non-articulated, just square rectangle in the fucking box with a paint job. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need anything crazy, but A TARS would be badass to go with this. But yeah, I'm excited because I love Interstellar, and any figures they make from it, I'll probably get.
Wow. High praise. Let's move on here. We have a 3,000 subscriber giveaway right around the corner. Mario, our guest of honor, do you want to give us a code word that people can put in for a bonus entry?
Reunited. How about that?
There you go.
Nice.
Reunited. I love that.
Love it.
There you go. Reunited is our code word. Be
I was
sure
going to
to
say
know that.
ethnic, but that's better.
Jesus. Yeah, that is better.
Broccoli or whatever.
Broccoli.
Broccoli. I was like, there's too many words at the top of this browser. What the fuck did you type in? Oh, I'm so glad I expanded that full screen. That was incredible.
Very funny.
Our main topic of tonight is exclusivity. Is it a good thing for the hobby? Is it a bad thing for the hobby? Because it seems like Hot Toys lately has been trending towards that. Now, I know in the past they had made some exclusive figures a long time ago. Let's leave those off the table for now, but let's talk about what we have here at the moment. So, obviously, this Thursday, the Artisan Editions, Joker and Anakin, are coming soon to Sideshow. They're supposedly limited to a certain amount. There was a very confusing post by Hot Toys Secret Base where some additional quantity was made available at other places. It's still unclear if that meant that they added to the edition or they had just taken them from other sources. Don't really care to comment on that because I think it's very gray, and I don't want to give you guys a gray answer. We obviously have the Mark III Gold Edition. This is the first time that I can recall that Hot Toys has numbered a figure, and I know that's been something that a lot of people, especially statue collectors, have said, well, Hot Toys aren't collectible, or perhaps they would be more collectible if they were numbered and limited. Right, so in the past we've had limited. We have not yet, as far as I know, had numbered. So
we have. There's the.
Was it
I
the
think
Loki?
No, it was the Beat It Michael Jackson. That was actually serialized.
Oh, so we have a second one. So this is again trending towards that numbered one. Now, last year we did have the President Loki. This was a very exclusive item. As far as recent memory, for recent figures, I feel like this was the first time recently that they had kind of dipped back into that limited number. We had never seen this one come up to Sideshow with the premium collector's edition with all the different stickers, cards, and lightbox. You had to get that one from overseas retailers. That one was limited to 1,500 pieces worldwide. Recently, we've had the Spider-Man 2 figures, both Miles and Peter Parker. They were limited, through Sideshow and then worldwide as well. Different quantities for different areas, but overall, supposedly there was a limited amount of these figures available. The D100 Iron Man Mark VII, celebrating 100 years of Disney. We also had the WB100 gray and blue suit Batman, Bale Batman, and then the rooted Wonder Woman for the WB100.
Oh, Reservoir Dogs.
And I'm curious what you guys think. Is all this good or bad for the hobby? There's also, I forgot to include the picture, but the Stealth Suit Cap from, I want to say it was last year. I don't really have strong feelings either way. I know there's some people that have been asking for it. I feel like for the average collector that, from us having an ear to the ground, I think it does cause some stress, right? Typically in the past, these things, you had months to make a decision. You were basically able to wait for a review and decide at that point if you wanted to order. As Mark always says, the game's kind of changed a bit. But lately, it seems, I mentioned earlier in the show, a figure is very close to release and it hits waitlist, right? Just for normal figures. For these limited figures, you're having to sit in a queue, excuse me, or apply to be in a lottery, or kind of fight with other collectors to get in and place your order. And it's so far removed from what I think we're used to. It is a shock to a lot of collectors. And I know a lot of people, they feel like their day is ruined if they miss a pre-order. They spend hours trying to add this to the cart, and hours trying to check out. And it's just, they feel like it's a waste of time and that they don't enjoy it. On the other hand, there's people that, streams that I watch and collectors that I watch where they are big fans of it. They like the exclusivity. They like the thrill of the hunt or the pre-order process, right? Marco, I know you came from a sneaker background, and that was something that you had to contend with all the time, not just here and there. This was, sneakers. I'm not into sneakers, but I know that it can get quite competitive to secure
a lot of L's,
to secure stock of what you want. So, I personally haven't had to purchase anything where I'm like, I need this figure. I'm stressed about not being able to get it, and I'm very fortunate for that. But, I can tell you if, that symbiote Hot Toys Spider-Man from a few weeks ago was an exclusive, I 100% would have been stressed and probably would have been upset if I hadn't gotten it. I don't know that Hot Toys, the way that they've built us up over the years, it's necessarily the right type of collectible to suddenly transition to that mindset, and it is a bit worrisome that it is trending that way. But at the end of the day, these are collectibles, and we always say that they should be, in a way, collectible. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, so I guess I'll just jump in here really quick and kind of tear off of what you said in terms of the symbiote suit Spider-Man was limited, you would have been upset, and so would I. Like, I think that the way that they've done it so far is perfect for the hobby, in that they are putting variations of figures that you could get in other versions if you want them. But they're kind of like doing like, okay, this is a very specific iteration with rooted hair or this color, so you could go back and get that other version if you miss out on this. And so I'm totally fine with that. It's causing a lot of excitement in the hobby. I think people that maybe didn't have their eyes on Hot Toys are now looking at this Anakin Skywalker or other, more limited releases, and Sideshow bringing a lot of traffic to their site. So I think overall it's really good for the hobby, but I hope they don't go too far, again, because if they come out with something that I desperately want that is going to be really limited, they do this with shoes plenty of times, right? You're going to miss out on certain things. And at the end of the day, it's not a great feeling, right? So Anakin Skywalker, for instance, I want to go and try to purchase it, but if I miss out, there's always the older version of the light side and dark side. They've got other versions of Anakin that are coming out or ones that are still in stock. So at the end of the day, you're going to be just fine. But I think the way that they're doing it right now is perfect, and I hope they don't change too much or go too far off the deep end.
You've said it before, though, Marco, and it resonated with me, which was, like, if you're going to play the game, at least if you know the rules, then you can play. But if you don't know the rules, you're going to get burned occasionally, and it's going to suck. And I think for collecting as a hobby, we keep seeing these exclusives, which I, put in quotations because they're not numbered, so we don't know how many of them are actually made. How exclusive are they? It looks to me like more of a sales conditioning tactic where, they say something's exclusive, and so we all rush to buy it because for the longest period of time, no po was in all of our mouths. We were all advising people to not pre-order because why would you? It's going to be in the bargain bin. Like, you even have a show, Marco, that's called the Bargain Bin Bros for a reason, because that was the verbatim coming from collectors and from YouTubers that talk about the stuff, and these companies were losing money.
We've rebranded Waitlist Bros now. So.
Waitlist Bros. But that's the thing. Now things are going to waitlist. I'd be curious to see how many waitlists convert for figures. Is that the new way of them capturing pre-order numbers, actual pre-order numbers? Because if you put yourself on a list, you're at least more likely, I would think, to pull the trigger on the figure because you feel like you scored something, as opposed to it just always being available and having the option to wait for a discount. It feels like sales conditioning. It's the same as when $285 as a price point was outrageous for a standard figure. Outrageous. And then they started making figures $320 and $340, and all of a sudden $285, we're all like, oh, that's good. Yeah, that's reasonable. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'd buy it. It's like, what? Like months ago, we were losing our shit over $285. It's the same thing. They're going to make these exclusive. They're going to make people start POing again, and it's working. It's working on me as well because I'm in the hobby. I want these figures myself. It's working on all of us. And then I think slowly over time they'll go back to having more stock availability for certain characters and stuff, and they'll expand their regions again. I just think if they're going to define their own amount of pre-orders, they should at least number them. They should give it more exclusivity. They should make them more valuable, because the way they're doing it is only like perceivably more valuable to either the collector because they love that character, or because of financially they decided to try and pull the trigger on a figure that's going to go rare and I can sell it for more later. The only other thing I don't like is scalpers. It makes the hobby feel less fun. I don't want to miss so quickly that I have to pay more on the secondary. I think a pre-order window would still make these types of items exclusive, while also giving collectors a chance to budget for it and buy it if you truly want it. And it would eliminate in a lot of ways the scalper side of things.
Yeah, that's a really good point. 'Cause some people buy it just for the sole intention of ripping someone else off, which is very disappointing. So like half of the figures go to people that are just trying to resell it. I don't know if it's actually half, it's just, for the sake of the argument. But I think the exclusivity, as we're seeing it right now, it's not figures that you can only get this way, right? We saw it with the Winwu. There's another way of getting Winwu, but the exclusive one has them in like a beige suit. So it's like, okay, like if you really like the character or you wanted an exclusive version of Winwu, you can get it. But you could still go buy the other Winwu if you want. Same thing with this Joker. This is the, fourth Joker Hot Toys has made? It's an Anakin. This is the third or fourth Anakin. I think, Marco, you pointed that out. There's other ways of owning these figures. These aren't the end-all, be-all versions of the characters. So this exclusivity doesn't bother me. Now, if this was the only Anakin you could get, I'd be really pissed off, because it's like, I got to fight tooth and nail to get this Anakin, and I am very unsure if that's going to happen. And then I'm stuck paying for the asshole who just wanted to rip me off for it. The way we're seeing it right now, trending, it's fine. It's like, hey, it's a gold Iron Man that you've already gotten before. Okay, who gives a shit? It's a Captain America in a black version of the Endgame suit. It's like, okay, cool. Like, I could just get the regular Captain America. I don't need this one. This Spider-Man comes with a churro. Okay, I really don't give a shit about the churro. So I think
people lost their minds over that churro, though. That was actually probably the most exclusive one.
Yeah, so as long as it's not the end-all be-all figure, I think we're okay.
I think you guys might be misconstruing exclusivity with limited or numbered. Just because it's exclusive doesn't mean it's necessarily numbered. Even if it's limited, doesn't mean it's necessarily numbered. It just means more.
Get a span of point.
It's just more.
I'll give him a point. I like that.
More collectible than a regular figure. It doesn't mean numbered. So
says who? Because the sticker says it. Like, I've got a Hot Toys exclusive 2099 or 2019 figure up there, and it says exclusive. And
well, it's exclusive to the region. It's not actually limited
to that way of ordering, to that site, to that event, to that thing. That doesn't mean that it's like a limited or a number specifically. Because I have statues that are limited, but that doesn't mean they're numbered.
Man,
so I think.
But if they told you if they told you you had there was 1,400 of those statues, but none of them were numbered, you wouldn't think that that's suspect. You wouldn't think, well, how do I know they didn't make 2,000 and they just told me there's 1,400? There's a certain number of these figures that they're telling us are being released, which makes that feel more exclusive then. But to then not provide a number feels kind of like, well, it is it though? Because there could be 7,000 of them. There could be 100,000. Like we have no idea.
I think there is an inherent trust, right? Like when someone says, there are 1,000 of these, right? And and I always say this, and it sounds silly to say, but it's like, if I have gold Midas, 59, right? How do I know that there's not another 59 out there, right? I'm assuming that I have the only 59, but how do I really know?
I feel like this community is too small for them to do 300 and make 259s, right?
Bro, you would think so, right? But I just don't know. And 59, okay, out of 300, that's probably a bad example. But I'm talking about, like, I think you're exactly right. Like, if there's 1,000 Peter Parker Spider-Man 2 figures in that region. How do we know there's not 1,100, right? I feel like there's times that I've seen companies take that really seriously. I think, Mario, you probably know about this, but the Regal Robot Rancor drama about, one of them was broken, but they needed to preserve the 1983 edition size, and it was like this huge hassle, and they didn't want to recast them because then it would be 1984. Too much drama, right? How do you really know, right? Because they're making 300 of these Midas, but they're making more than 300 for spares or replacements. It's very interesting.
Also, how hard would it be to assign it a number if they're going to say there's a certain amount made? Like, it takes, in my opinion, I could be 100% wrong on this, but it takes no effort to give it a number,
sit there
right?
with a pen and serialize every one of them, or
and especially if there is a box associated with the inner box, like we're talking about the clear acrylic.
Sure. I'm
59
sure there's a process
has to match the 59 on the outside. It's logistically, it sounds like a pain in the ass. I wouldn't want to do it.
Fair, yeah, no, that's fair.
I think we just don't know all the details, but for statues, they have artist proofs. I don't necessarily think they make extras for replacements, so maybe they're not making extras of the Mark III.
They have to.
The gold
I can't
version.
imagine that they wouldn't.
There are statues that have been released that ship and they get destroyed and they just tell you, sorry, we have no more. We can refund you your money, but that's the number.
Yeah.
So that could be what they do with this too. I feel like we put too much on the companies sometimes as collectors just because of something we prefer. That doesn't necessarily mean they should do it that way. Maybe they just want exclusivity. The number thing they are doing with certain figures, but I don't think everything needs a number. I think there can be exclusive limited edition and then numbers, and I think we have to have some accountability ourselves in order to separate those in our own mind. I don't think everything needs to be the same. I don't think it all has to be cookie cutter. You know what I mean?
Can you clarify for me a bit though, Eddie? So like exclusive would be exclusive to like a certain retailer or a region, right?
Or
what would be the second tier?
Like the summer event, the summer convention event, that could be exclusive. Limited kind of works the same way as an exclusive. It can be limited to only Asia, or it could be limited to only a certain market. Limited and exclusive are kind of the same.
But they could say limited
is
number.
Completely different.
But wait, there's a limited number and then there's limited numbered, right? So they could say there's 3,000. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, and it doesn't necessarily have a number on it because it could be limited to a certain amount. They haven't decided the number, but it is still limited to a number, whereas a regular hot toy could be made to 10,000 or whatever, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Marco,
and I
do you
think
have
that's on us to make those decisions. Like, if it's such a big deal for you to know the exact number, then order the numbered ones. If you have a problem with the limited one, then that's on you to make that decision to be like, well, this doesn't have an exact number, but I'm still going to try to go for it because of this. I don't know. In today's society, we want everything handed to us, and you still got to make some decisions yourself as a collector.
Again, I think I just want to know the rules a little bit better.
Well,
I think that has more to do with it.
Well,
I don't need them to hand it to me. If they
collecting,
tell
you'll
me
learn the rules, bro. There are no rules written down anywhere, man. That's just experience. That's just the journey. That's the experience. You learn as you go, bro.
But I've been going since 2010 now, and like the game has changed already, right? Like already 3-4 times in that time. It's crazy.
You should already know what to expect.
I find it exhausting in a sense, though. But also like for the new collectors, the people who are just getting into it now, they're looking at what we're talking about right now and being like, oh my god, I better order and pre-order everything because I'm going to miss out. I'm not going to have a collection. And people will put themselves in bad situations because they haven't had the experience to see that this goes up and down and up and down all the time. Like, buy what you need in your collection.
Do we not
not what
learn
you
from our
want.
own experiences?
Yeah, 100%, right? So, but I don't want them to spoon feed it to us. It's just that, as I said, if they tell us there's a limited amount, tell us, give us a better indication of when the window is, make it clear how the queues work. If there's issues with the queue system because the website fails like it always does, give us other options.
You want like a whole contingent plan written out? Well,
I don't want it written out. I just want them. I just want to know what my options are.
I will say
the option is you try to get it or not. Bottom line, that's it.
I'm with you, Ben, because
good luck. Use the force.
if they do it in like a straightforward way, then it feels like, okay, like this was just the luck of the draw. But if they do it in a very convoluted, like sketchy type of way, then it just doesn't feel right. Yeah, so
we're
it's
trying to
tough. It's a tough
reread the
balance.
writing
Marco,
just
do
to
you-
make sure we didn't misunderstand the rule of
Marco,
like how to get this.
do you experience all this as sneaker collecting? Is this a thing?
Yeah, absolutely.
So then, are you surprised?
No, I'm not. But I will say the reason I loved Hot Toys was that if you wanted something, you could get it. If you get
Yes,
there in time to
exactly.
pre-order, right? So I love that about it. It's like I don't need something that's exclusive. Just
No.
because Mario and Eddie have it doesn't make it any less special for me. It was
Right.
just some shit that I wanted too.
Yeah.
But I do kind of like these peppered in limited. But I hope that they don't learn the wrong lesson from this, that people freak out and it's like, oh shit, let's make everything limited now. I hope that they don't do that.
Well, this is also what kind of turns me off about like smaller scale collecting, right? You all know that I collected the vintage collection, right?
Yeah.
I since stopped just because now it seems like all the figures that I want that are in the original '96, they're all Walmart exclusives, right? So first of all, good luck trying to get them when they
Fucking
drop.
pain in the ass.
And then good luck if you do happen to get a couple of them. Good luck getting them in mint condition if you're a card collector. These things come out the card backs are all bent as shit. The bubbles are all crushed, and you have to order like 6 of them, maybe even more, just to hopefully get one good one.
So stressful though, right? Collecting should be fun and not stressful. Like that.
Exactly, and Marco, and that's the same way. That's the same reason why I also started collecting Hot Toys too. But if they start sprinkling some stuff like this, to be honest, for me personally, there's nothing here that's like made me want to like get on anything like right away. All this stuff I'll be okay with missing out on because there's like what you mentioned earlier. There's other options, and even if the older options are too expensive, more than likely the Anakin's going to come out again anyway. I'm sure we'll see that for either what was it, Kenobi, or we're gonna have the 25th anniversary of Revenge of the Sith coming up. So we're gonna see some version of Anakin coming up again.
Or they'll do another Rooted with the dark side, right? So
Possibly.
Which would be incredibly shitty.
it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
It's
though,
gonna
right?
happen.
Yeah, history will prove itself once again, man. You're definitely gonna see that happen, bro. But
I want to say that I didn't mean for it to seem like I was coming at you with my points, Ben.
Oh no, I thought they were awesome points.
counter-arguing.
I love it.
Just
No,
counter-arguing.
I am here for it.
I think that
Heck yeah, buddy.
this is all new territory for 1/6 collectors. This has been going on with statues since the beginning of statues.
Yeah.
But I think because this numbered thing just recently started, they're trying to figure it out as well as us and seeing what works and doesn't work. So I think in a couple of years' time, it'll probably take time. We'll get to that point to where it's all just streamlined and they do it a certain way. Also, it's new for... Well, I don't know how new it is for Sideshow because they're used to selling other products. So they should learn how to figure out their website and figure out what works for ordering processes to make it easier for, even if it is a limited number, for the right people to get them in hand. So that's kind of on Sideshow, but I think that it's just the nature of it being a brand new thing to come to 1/6 scale collecting that we're seeing this like chaos and sporadic thing. But I think over time it will become more streamlined and we'll all kind of understand the process better and the differences between numbered and exclusivity, and maybe we won't have so many different versions of things.
Yeah.
And like Hot Toys, totally with like their DX line, it's totally clear what that means and the
It
difference.
is
between
very
a standard
unclear
release, so.
what they're doing. It's very unclear. Right?
That's the company.
And then it's like they have the Rooted Wonder Woman, but then it's like the next week they announce the Artisan Edition, but this is not the Artisan Edition, but it seems like it should be. I guess the meme is wait for in-art. All great points, gentlemen. Appreciate you guys getting so passionate there, but yet respectful. Let's move on here to our movie of the week. This was picked by Eddie. Reservoir Dogs. 6 criminals with pseudonyms and each strangers to one another are hired to carry out a robbery. The heist is ambushed by police and the gang are forced to shoot their way out. At their warehouse rendezvous, the survivors, realizing that they were set up, try to find the traitor in their myths. This movie is fucking awesome. I remember this was one of the later one of the later films that I've seen from I forgot his name, Quentin Tarantino. And I remember my uncle was telling me like, you gotta watch it, like it was fucking awesome. And I've talked about my uncle a little bit recently, but he was paralyzed, so for him it was like movies was really like the best way that we could connect when I was younger. And I remember we watched this film, and I was completely blown away by the performances. You know, it's a very small story, right? You know, there's maybe 2 or 3 locations of the film. The way that the story is presented, right? The acting, fantastic. There's scenes in this movie that, like, any of these action movies, you see like a Mexican standoff, right? But you never see, like when they actually shoot. When they shoot, right? And I remember watching this, like, holy
Down
shit,
here,
not
it's
a
just called a
Mexican
standoff.
Standoff, yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, wow,
because we've got to have guns on you from Inglourious
Yeah,
Bastards.
exactly.
Anyways,
yeah. Such a great film. The walkout scene after the restaurant, iconic, bro. Just a scene that in any other context might just be super silly. Just incredible. These are professionals about to do a job, and it obviously goes south, right? I love this film. This is a very fond memory of mine, watching this with my uncle. It's good to revisit it. And if you haven't seen Reservoir Dogs, which I would imagine most people have, it's certainly worth your time to check out. So, Eddie, great pick for movie of the week. I think this was a really good one.
Thanks. Can I?
Yeah. My first Tarantino movie was Kill Bill, and as much as I love those movies, it made me go back and watch his other stuff. And I think I started with Pulp Fiction. It's not a bad movie. It's a good movie. It's just very wordy in a good way. And then I was like, oh, I'll try Reservoir Dogs. And this movie blew me away. Just like the guys sitting at the table at the beginning of the movie talking about how Like a Virgin by Madonna is about her getting fucked by a guy with a big dick. and
his name may have been Ben.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Yeah. And then, like, just how naturally the dialogue flowed in that scene, and then they start talking about something else, and then they talk about the tipping, and
Bro, the tipping gets me every fucking time.
Oh my
so
god.
good.
The
And-
tipping is very like, we're going through that right now, because he says,
Bro,
because he talks about tipping.
it's
You wouldn't go to
so
McDonald's
relevant.
and tip, but now you will tip at McDonald's for nothing.
It's always
will?
it's gonna ask
Well,
you
they
a
have the
Shame
question.
on you,
iPad.
Eddie.
It's gonna ask you a question and the look away. That always gets me. I'm like, just ask. Tell me it's gonna ask me for a tip. Like, don't tell me. Don't tell me it's gonna ask you a question. I already know what the fucking question is. It's not a mystery. All right.
Yeah.
You fucking I'm sorry. I just don't know when we're supposed to tip. I just don't know.
But it's
I
great
just-
social
I don't
commentary, right? Because
understand
they go into like, these people make like not a lot of money in the service industry. They need these tips, but it's like the principle. It's great. It's a well written scene.
It's so
It
well
really
written.
is.
And it was
It's
literally
timeless.
that scene that I was like, oh, Quentin Tarantino is like a genius. Like, and Zach, you said it right. It's also the performances, right? Like the actors like sell it so well. What's his name? Billy
Harvey Keitel?
it's right there on the fucking. Michael Madsen is such a phenomenal actor, especially in this movie. But he's also in Kill Bill, and I love his character in there. But like seeing this movie, I was just like, oh, I get, like, now I understand the hype around Tarantino and why you should really pay attention to this movie. So I went back and watched Pulp Fiction again and Jackie Brown. And it was just like, he has such a way of writing conversations that feel like they don't feel like they're in a movie. It feels like you're sitting there listening to two people talk. It's so fantastic. This movie, incredible. The scene with, again, it's Michael Madsen with the ear, fucking insane and iconic and just so unhinged. The scene where they're getting their code names. What do I gotta be, Mr.
Bro,
Pink? Because you,
can we pick our own colors? He's like, fuck no, everyone's gonna pick Mr. Black.
yeah.
So hilarious.
So
bro.
good. Like this movie, and it's because it starts off just with a conversation, and then the shit hits the fan, and then the rest is almost like the denouement, the resolution of the film is the last, like, literally the rest of the movie, but it just works somehow. It's so fucking fantastic. If you have not seen this movie yet, please do yourself a favor.
I would say potentially watch it though with headphones on, especially if you have kids in the room.
This movie was way more racist than I remember.
You guys say I need sensitivity training. You shouldn't have made me watch this movie. I've got so many more things to say now that'll get me in trouble.
You're learning some bad lessons.
I need examples, bro.
I'm not saying any of them.
Come on, man.
I will private chat you.
I've
maybe.
never seen this movie, dude.
Jesus Christ.
To be fair, I wouldn't say them either. So.
No, it was. Some of them were so racist, and the amount of swearing in this movie has to hold a record somewhere. I kind of almost want to look it out. Like, it blew me away. Now, I will say though, like you called it perfectly, Dean, the conversations in the film, like the way Quentin Tarantino like captures those conversations and like draws you in and makes you feel like you're literally sitting at the table with these crazy dudes, is awesome. The cast, insane. So good. You called it again, Dean. Michael Marsden, or Madsen, I apologies. I loved him in Kill Bill. I didn't know he was in this film at all. I had never seen this movie before. And very, very cool. Very, very cool. So I would definitely recommend this movie. But again, if you have little people in the room, you've never seen it before, or you have sensitive family members, like kids.
What? Ben can do no right.
What the hell, man?
Like kids.
Dude. Is that what's in the movie? They got little people in this movie, bro?
Oh my God. If you have kids or sensitive family members, maybe be careful. Be careful.
Man can't get right.
A lot of swearing.
So I do have one question though. Did anyone have to watch this with subtitles? Was like the audio mix pretty muddled, or is it just my setup?
I always do,
but I'm a little deaf.
I didn't have issues, but I traditionally do
not just
always
deaf, bro.
turn subtitles on.
Okay, all right. So the audio mix may be just a little bit outdated, but I will say, like, Reservoir Dogs is a movie when you're in your 20s that you say is your favorite film to look cool, and it's kind of got that like broy aspect of it, in the fact that Tarantino feels like he's copying like Coppola, and he's trying to copy oh my gosh, Goodfellas. Why can't I think of his name?
Scorsese.
It's going to come to Scorsese. There you go. So like, he feels like
Buff.
he's kind of trying to. There we go. I know it's true. A complete blank. It totally feels like he's trying to rip those off, but I think he succeeds like really well. This is like, I think only his first or second like motion length directorial.
First. Yeah.
Okay, so I would say like some of that immaturity kind of shines through, because those, racial slurs aren't necessarily needed, I would say, but that's probably how those guys would talk. So there's some authenticity to it, but it's a bit off-putting to like hear it now in this day and age. All that being said, incredibly well done film. I definitely recommend watching it. Not my favorite Scorsese film though. Like Dean was saying, he likes this better than Kill Bill. I really like Kill Bill Volume 1
Tarantino.
a ton. Yeah, so I would say that Kill Bill is definitely one of my
I enjoy watching Kill Bill Volume 1 more, but I just think this is a better film.
And then also like Inglourious Bastards, I just feel like those are a bit more like, there's a lot of fun aspects of this in the darkness, but I feel like he balances a bit more the fun, more
Django
comical
Unchained.
stuff.
The racial slurs are turned down in Inglourious Bastards, and you can enjoy.
No, definitely not. But it just feels like he's a bit more mature when it comes to that. So, anyways, it's still a fantastic film, but there's some aspects about it that are problematic.
Wow.
That's all.
Andre says, I don't know why I came here tonight. I got the feeling that something ain't right.
God.
Ben with his racist ways next. He will start on the gays. Collectors to the left of me. LWO to the right. Here I am.
Very lyrical.
That was amazing.
Wow.
Lyrical genius.
Man,
Love to see it.
What a guy.
Mario, you want to take, or you really haven't seen this movie?
I really haven't seen this movie. Go ahead, Eddie. Put me on the bottom.
Ah, damn it.
Put me on the bottom.
He started watching, but we know what happened.
I legit haven't seen it. I haven't even started trying to
watch it. You
watch
were alive when it was in theaters. No, I may have
Dude,
been. I don't even know when this came out.
92.
I love this movie. I love most Tarantino films, but I haven't seen some of the older ones. I still want to go back and watch Jackie Brown, because I hear that one's good, and I haven't seen that yet.
I've never seen that one either.
This might be in my top 3 for Tarantino films. I don't know. I only started watching Tarantino like a couple of years ago, maybe back in like 2017, 2018. So,
What are your top 2?
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and Pulp Fiction for sure.
I also haven't seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Damn.
Bro, what?
I gotta see that. Yeah.
You said Scorsese.
Oh, I said Scorsese. All right, I was a mess today.
Just quickly, Oilers Workshop in the
Oilers.
chat. Love that
What's
guy.
up?
Sent me a beautiful card. Thank you so much, bud. I really appreciate it.
Who just made that amazing comment? Oh, Andre, right? So that's one of my favorite scenes in this movie, when Mr. Blonde turns on the radio, and he's about to torture the cop, and he's dancing to the song. That, I don't know why I love that scene, but I also just love the song. But I think Dean's right. Michael Madsen really makes this movie. Also, Mr. White. I don't know what the actor's name is. He's probably Harvey Keitel, right? I would think
Harvey
he's the
Keitel.
name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is Mr. White. He's so damn good in this.
Dude, he makes it too. They're all great though. They're all really great. Also, I wanted to say that Sam Gist mentioned it earlier. He was talking about motherfucker looks like the Thing when Mr. Orange is talking about Joe. Joe is also Elaine Bennis's dad in Seinfeld, which I thought was awesome because I just watched that Seinfeld episode. But all great casts. I love it. It has an interesting ending. I don't quite get the ending too much.
Yeah.
But it's a very good movie, and I recommend watching it, even for the racial slurs that I was also like very like surprised by. I was like, Jesus, I don't remember having this much. But yeah, it's good.
Looks like the chat is at 71% no for normal tipping outside of normal. I would consider normal tipping situation. You sit down at a restaurant, they're bringing you drinks, whatever. 28% yes. It is time for the fans' choice movie of the week. So if you're in the chat right now, leave some comments. Yeah, we'll kind of sort through these, pick the best 4. We'll have you guys vote on them. But go ahead and start typing those away because we only have a few minutes left at before we end the show. Dean, we have some sweet angels that we want to thank for keeping the network going.
Yeah, if you could do me a favor and check Messenger while I do this.
Oh, hang on.
Give a quick shout out to our 3 pillars, the Sweet Angels, the
Jesus
Patreonies,
Christ.
Ian CV, Renee Mendez, Eric Mariscal, Coy McGeary.
You can't send that and expect me
King
not to
Louis, Mark Pearson, Paul Shriver, Equan, Chris Valencerina, Ben Thomas, Chris Letty, David Jones, Sam Gist, Daminator, Joel Bretta, Thomas Clark, Eric Switzer, Six Guns Figs, Bad Fish, Toy Cartel, Sweet Danny Lee, Deanie Martin, Stephen Krepp, Big Ol' Fern, Cesar Marquin, Mark Phillips, Lisa Martin Bomonsky, Rick DeGregorio, Ricardo Valdez, Jose CZ, Erwin Azucena, The Illustrious Rainer, Aled Morgan, Tukathri Wa, Derek B, Aries Portillo, Alvin J, Jazz Carroll, Joe Ridley, Pablo Meza, D-Rock, Matt Clevenger, Seth Tucker, CC, 3PO, Scott Smith, Don Maton, Stephen Purchase, Sean Usby, Scott Bradley, Steve and Maria Stanley, Eddie Manzanares, Louis Bennett, Chip Perrin, Jimmy Hernandez, Gigi the Judgmental, and Brenton Palmer. What a bunch of angels.
Bunch of angels indeed. July Patreon benefits, we have the ZW sticker and the Small Talk new logo sticker. Possibly we may add something else to spicing up this package because we already sent the ZW sticker. Don't know that I want to send an envelope with just one sticker, so perhaps a top tier exclusive sticker or something like that to kind of make it worth it for you guys that pay that extra dinero every month. Patreon starts at $5 for the digital tier, $7.50 for the Sweet Angel tier. You get stickers every other month and access to Ox After Dark replay, the Certified Crispy, the Figure Fix Assistance, and the Crispy Certificate, and the What a Guy doubles of all the stickers we send, and the Pog Deluxe set. We're also working on some different exclusive stickers. We'll show you a potential design that Dean has made up here in a second. YouTube channel members, we have Absolute Irwin, Alvin J, Andre, Andres IB, Andrew Gibo, Benjamin Hansen, Big Ol' Fern, Blurred Dad Life, Bob Dylan, CC3PO, Chris V, Cram, CT603, DJ, Daminator, Dante's Boneyard, Eclectic Collector, Equan, Fat Batman, Gear Bear, Gotham Cenobites, Jake, Just Another Friday Night, Justin Sports Card, KJ Smith, LV Avenger 702, Mark Pearson, Eddie Money Mendez, Mr. Mom's Collectibles, Knight, OG Fan, OMF Jurek, 16 Figure Focus, Paul Schreiber, Philip the Fool, S Beam, Sam Giss, Slifer, SpongeBob SquareBall, Sunnyvale Rest, The Ben Thomas Show, Toy Cartel, and Zeke. Membership starts at 99 cents if you're a Patreon member, or $2.99 if you're in the Peanut Gallery. We also have swag.
Oh wow!
on
Look at this.
Public. Look at that. What do you mean? Look at this. You like my my OnlyFools?
I mean, no, there's an old school show still up in here, man.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Yeah,
Look
look
at
at
that.
that.
In the past.
Wow.
Hey man,
Wow.
we still got to
Yeah,
keep it
Maddie.
up there, bro.
Now I want a burger.
Looking at the network, we have Question of the Week on Sundays, live unboxing on Mondays. The reissue we've kind of folded into both Ben's show and CW. OFAC, they just released a double feature on the audio platform today, so if you want to catch up on some of their episodes, you can do that as well. We also have a Carnage giveaway we'll talk about with them. Small Talk this Thursday. Ox PD, we just recorded on Saturday. It was fucking hilarious. Bricks and Brews, I know kind of been down bad on the Bricks and Brews team, but hopefully we'll get that back going soon. Live and Let Dice, I believe we're doing this weekend on Saturday and After Dark tomorrow at 10:30. Last week was a tough episode, but I think we're going to get back to goofs, gaffs, and laughs on After Dark, so stay tuned for that. In addition to our Carnage 1/6 scale giveaway, we also have a Carnage 12th scale giveaway on OFAC. Ian and Peter are going to work out the details on that, but it'll be for their episode 100, donated graciously by Lane the Legend Kramer. So we will talk about all that. Looks like we got some good suggestions here. Let me make a quick poll. Let's see.
I should have saved my dead goldfish story for after. I just realized.
Yeah, you
should have been a whole segment.
All right, so the movies that we're going to vote on: Jackie Brown, The Sandlot, Pee-wee's Big Adventure, and Full Metal Jacket. So let's do a quick poll here. We'll kind of chat while we figure out which of these is the winner.
Are we allowed to
These
vote?
Yeah, you can vote. Go ahead and go on YouTube and let's see. Pee-wee's Big Adventure. Go ahead and just keep this going while I get this put up.
Oh, sorry, I was looking for
I haven't seen any of them.
Really?
I've never seen Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
I was gonna say
Whoa,
Mario, you're fucking
Ben!
around.
Whoa!
I've
Whoa!
never seen
Really?
it. Yeah.
All the more reason to freaking vote for that, then, man. Jeez, I mean,
Yeah.
with the current, you
I
know,
gotta say,
rest
I-
in peace, Paul Rubens, right now. I mean,
yeah.
come
would
on.
not be hyped to watch that at all. Even though I liked it when I was a kid, that sounds horrible to me, and I'd rather kill myself.
Dude.
Wow.
Wow.
Pee-wee Herman, Pee-wee's Big Adventure, it is.
Don't hate yourself, Eddie. Jesus.
I don't. Sandlot.
Tell
I've
him
never seen.
Large Mars sent you.
All right, we got that
Jacket.
poll up. We got 11 votes so far. We'll let that trickle in just for a bit. Do you guys want to plug what you guys got going on? I know you obviously all you guys have your own channels, so go ahead and just plug that for a minute.
Yeah, Mario, you're the guest, buddy. Good to see you
Oh,
back.
my.
What's
Oh,
going
oh,
on?
well,
What's going
no,
on
thanks
over
for
your
doing it,
channel, there, buddy?
What do we got going on, man? Oh, well, first of all, thanks for, having me on. It's cool. It's cool hanging out, seeing y'all once again. Monday night Profi Chat going on 6 p.m. Pacific time. It's just myself, P-Rock, Joao, and Miguel. And we're just bullshitting, just hanging out for about an hour or so. It's fun.
Nice.
I think Thursday night we might be doing Scoundrels over with Leo. Last week on we did Scoundrels and we started doing kind of like a Star Wars count or ranking for like every damn thing, and that's taking a lot longer than I thought. So we're gonna try to finish
That was a
part
long
2
episode.
before Ahsoka drops. So we'll see. Hopefully we'll do something on Thursday.
I played
And
some
Friday
Nintendo
night-
Switch and watched that on replay. It was a good watch. Well,
Oh, man,
just
dude,
to have it
did-
up in the background, it was awesome.
Yeah, I got some feedback about one of the topics, man, and that didn't go over well. So
Fair.
my bad, my fault. And Friday night LWO over there on Cisco Reviews, man. So check us out over there, and yeah, good times, man. Saturday night Mafia stream, be hanging around over there, and yeah, I'm everywhere, bro.
Right on. Good to see you, buddy. Good to see you.
So,
Thanks for
likewise.
joining. If you guys missed it on Ben Thomas Show Sunday, we had our Let's Get Nuts stream. Awesome stream. We had shout out to Jose G. Hernandez. He made his first appearance on the show with Pete and Eddie as well, and the gang. So it's been great times. If you guys missed the show, again, it's the same time every Sunday. Feel free to watch it on replay or catch it live if you're able to, because it's always fun to have some interaction in the chat with you guys. So, and yeah, shout out to Eddie as well. He's been becoming a bit more of a regular on there as well. So it's been a good time.
Awesome. The only thing I will plug is we don't have a set date, but Gigi and I will be doing the return of the She Said No podcast at some point here in the next few weeks. So keep posted on our social media, and we'll let you know when that's coming.
Fantastic. Looks like we have a tie between Sandlot and Full Metal Jacket. Let this go just a few more minutes before we pick one.
I can vote. I haven't voted yet.
Which would you like to see, Dean?
Hold on, let me log into another account.
Between the two, I'd rather watch Sandlot.
All right, so one for
Full
Sandlot.
Metal Jacket is good, but
Ben? Full Metal Jacket's fucking incredible.
It's incredible, but it's like real dark, and it's like
It's a little heavier than Sandlot for sure.
Yeah, I want to have fun on the show.
Are you kidding me? I'm pretty sure
It's
they
like
put that dog down.
It's like that time that Marco made us watch that Brazilian horror.
Oh my, God! Bro,
Yeah.
One of the worst movie of the week picks of all time.
What
It's
an
hard to
incredible
low
piece
of
of
the
art.
low.
Yeah.
For
You
how
make him watch, Marco.
It was City of God. These guys weren't cultured enough to appreciate
I had to
it.
watch
I'm
a
sorry.
Brazilian child get shot in the foot.
No, it was like a snuff film. It was like, should we be watching this?
Motherfucking Rocket was crazy.
Call the police.
All right, so let's do
Jose.
Sandlot. Let's do Sandlot as our movie of the week. So, fans' choice is Sandlot. All right, now look at this. Now, Dean is an artisan, and my man made art. All right.
I did this so fast. It's not good. It's
No,
not great.
It's almost better that it's not great. Okay. Okay. So we have two potential bonus sticker ideas now. We may need to push the envelope to next month because we gotta purchase these at the right
Anticipation
time.
is killing me.
Oh God!
All right.
I know what this is gonna be.
It's the Brock Elise.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Oh my God!
Well, you gotta do this. You gotta do this.
Oh shit!
Oh my God!
Mario is so unimpressed by us all the time.
Wow.
Why do you hate us so much, Mario?
Wow.
I remember one time we were laughing just pure joy, and Mario just had that stern look.
Oh my God!
Somebody's got to be the straight man. Oh my God, that's so
What a
fucking good.
legendary! What a legendary! If you're watching
you
on
do-
the audio, you have to go and watch this portion on the video. It's just too
Are
funny.
you open to notes at all, Dean?
Yeah, sure.
Can you make him a bit more ethnic? Is the only thing.
Jesus Christ!
He's already brown, Marco.
I was thinking about it, but I was like, nah, I'm not trying to get
Please don't.
Oh,
Please
bro, it's
don't.
Perfect. Don't
Oh
touch
my
it.
goodness.
It's perfect.
Oh man, yeah. Well, be sure to check out Mario on LW. I'm very proud of all the work that he's doing over there, and yeah, it's good to be reunited tonight. It was fun. Eddie's saying Sandlot isn't widely available. We'll have to figure out what to do about that, but I think it's I don't really know that.
Well, I know we've
Well,
all
I think
probably seen it.
We've
other
all
than
probably
Mario,
seen it, yeah.
But
I've never seen it.
There we go. Yeah, if you guys want that
what's
sticker,
that about?
let us know in the Patreon chat. Dean, if you could send that in the Patreon chat, and I'll send the return of the Dean, and we'll see what they want for the bonus sticker. But again,
What was your other sticker idea, by the way? You said there was another sticker idea.
Little people.
Oh yeah, let me see.
Is
Hang
it
on,
the
give me-
Captain American from last week?
No, that's hilarious though. But no, this one's not funny at all. But it was just more to. Let me see here. How do I feel like an old man trying to figure this out. Let's see. So this was the other idea. Again, this one's not funny. It's just more to commemorate the Dean coming back to the show, Return of the Dean. He was gone for a while.
Yeah, I think
not
3
as-
weeks.
No, he was like
And then I
almost a
missed.
month.
Yeah, and then I missed a fifth week later.
Yeah,
A week
we'll let
later.
the Patreons
How
decide.
about weekend at Dean's with Dean in a wheelchair?
Wow.
Wow.
I like that. I like that. That's brilliant.
Get him
I
out.
feel like
banana.
I feel like not having the wheelchair was the worst part of the story.
Eddie's last episode tonight, guys. We're commemorating it.
Wow.
How about a banana split, but Dean's on top? You know. Way too soon, guys. Way too soon.
Wow.
Jesus Christ.
Love you, Dean.
You're a bad person.
You're a bad
That
man.
was
Mark.
way better than mine.
You
way
will
better.
die alone. I'll make sure of it.
Holy shit.
Oh man.
Oh
Love you,
man.
bro.
Anyways, love you guys. I'm Zach.
You know, I see you in a month, right?
Yeah, I'm scared.
I'm Ben.
I'm Marco.
I'm Eddie.
And I'm out of here.
We'll catch you on the next episode.
Bye, Jumbo.
Y'all still got this outro?
How dare you speak on that?